Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest. This is our original D&D campaign. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most, and joining me are my friends Matt, Tina, Vincent, and Alana. We have two other members of our party, but they are away for this week. Hopefully we'll have everybody back next week. I can talk. I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit in a second here.
Soothing classical.
Yeah, I had it on louder because it was just kind of loppy music while we were all waiting. But a couple of quick announcements before we do get started. We did play Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign, last night. It was our Blue Driftmas episode. There was a fight within a hollow arcade called Divers Deep. You can see that when it re-airs on YouTube at Alberon RPG at noon on Sunday, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are at Alberon RPG on different social media, Instagram, Threads, things like that. The website is finally going to get an update tomorrow, and so alberonrpg.com, you can go and check that out as well. And then I think next week is going to be the final sessions of this year of 2023, and we've played a grand total of, I think, something close to I think it's 84 sessions this year in terms of one shots and everything combined, and so pretty productive year. We have a lot more stuff coming next year, so there'll be a few announcements next week on Friday, which is, I believe, the 29th. And with that is the last announcement that I have, and I'll just throw us right into our intro.
Saw it.
And welcome back. Give me just 1 second to kick our music back over here.
I don't know what planet I live on these days, so...
Valid.
That's fair.
That's very fair. Yeah.
I feel like this time of year it gets pretty just dissociating for casual times.
Casual disassociation.
Yeah. Wandering Hearts. Last we played, you pushed into Root Creep, this magical forest where the trees walk, after being warned away by a Kenku druid called Pretty Bird. Valis, you sent a rockhopper bird into the woods to act as an emissary, hopefully to announce that Valis and friends were here to help the treants and squash the hags to the north. This worked, gaining you an audience with Pinecrest, the treant guarding Root Creep, and as you met, he told you that you were just in time, as orcs arrived and intended to incur further into Root Creep to harvest Heartwood. You stood to fight as an Etten and orc smashed through the forest, making preparations, unaware of an orc scout creeping behind your line towards Minka on Wolfback. Alina barely caught them in time, and Ori dealt a sneak attack straight to the wolf's heart, spilling its rider onto the ground, but as they climbed to their feet, they sounded a war horn and the attack began. Initially, the odds were pretty stilted against you. Ori did devise a trap to trip the Etten, but Minka managed to summon spiked growth in front of them, tearing their feet as they roared across, confused and even angrier as they surged towards Billy and Valis. Alina called upon Hunger of the Wild Hunt, and as the natural tendrils exploded from the shimmering portal, the attacking orcs found themselves overwhelmed as both vegetation and spike growth rose up around them. But to add to this confusion, Valis cast Animate Object for the very first time, bringing rocks and stumps ominously into the air to assault the orcs further. Quickly, you turn the tides and crush the orc assault, with Ori killing the lone survivor after Alina told them to tell their friends. Pinecrest thanked you, and now believed beyond a shadow of a doubt that you would easily be able to save Root Creep's elder, Jacaranda Indigrow. In turn, Jacaranda could reawaken the powerful treants that slumbered in this grove, and Pinecrest assured you that they would do far more than allow you simple passage through their territory. He bade nature stand aside, and the bushes and trees crept and crawled to create a simple straight path for all of you. You did find along this way a single tree that was somewhat diseased with a gnome, both either dead or dying along the road. Though it was a little bit too late for the gnome, you were able to lay on hands, and Valis, you rid the tree of the poison that was within. Ori, you gave the gnome some very simple rites in a medium deep grave after some deliberation, ending with you saying, hopefully we can avenge you, before quickly turning and darting off. And as you look across the space that looms in front of you, you can see off maybe 100 feet in the distance, the trees begin to kind of die down, and there are a few broken ones around, but that is where we're beginning this evening. Give me 1 moment here. So the woods so far, such as they are, have been pretty lively. And Valis, if you've been walking, you've seen many animals off to the side, just curiously watching you go. You even had a boar attend a funeral that you held for this gnome. But now as you look over and you can see these stones and this huge kind of crown almost of these purple leaves, deep, deep royal purple that poke out above an element of the rock, it's pretty quiet. You're not hearing a whole lot of wildlife. You're not really even hearing insects. What would you all like to do?
Ming's gonna look through, like, the brush to see if she can see any evidence of these venom trolls.
Okay, make a are you looking for? What are you looking for? Like,
Mostly she's gonna looking for like more gross gloops that shows evidence that they came through this way.
make survival check.
Okay. Ooh, that is good. 21.
21. So you look around. You can see there are places where basically when you look at the space, there is an area off in the periphery where there are like trees almost growing into a clearing around it. But closer to that, there were trees previously and they have been smashed down and away, and almost all of them kind of pointing inward. And many of those places, the leaves themselves like yellowing and dying far sooner than they normally would. And that would give you a good idea that there are certainly venom trolls around. And with that check, they seem to lurk somewhere within these rocks, which are not like a cave by any means or walls, but they break up the sightline in such a way that you can't really see beyond them. You can maybe see past like the first row, but there's almost like rings of stone here.
Well, they're definitely past those rocks.
What are we doing? Hey, Cheshire.
We're, killing trolls?
Okay.
To save the forest.
Don't get close to them, and don't let them seep into the ground.
They're poison trolls.
We want to help in the trees.
Oh,
Ooh,
and ahead there's a tree with purple leaves.
yeah.
That tree name is, what was it?
Jacaranda Indigrow.
Jacaranda.
That's their tree name. They go by Steve when they're hanging out on the Emerald Spire, but
And we were said that we should wake it up by shaking it, and
Vigorously.
and it would help us.
Yes.
And
But
then
don't touch the trees.
No, don't touch the trolls.
Don't touch the trolls, and don't let the trolls touch the trees or really
A
anything.
lot of touching.
Just
not touching.
Stay away
Yeah.
as much.
The trolls themselves are goopy and gross, and their goopy grossness will go into the soil and make the forest goopy and gross. So we want to try to avoid that.
Bad stuff.
You.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really a lot
Dissolves
of
your
ew.
bone stuff. Very,
Does it dissolve skin? Because it's gonna
yeah,
go through skin.
it does. It does it all.
Minka, while this happens and you're kind of like looking around, you do notice one other detail with the 21. As you all had taken a little bit of time to rest just recently, it seems as if relatively recently, within the last 6 hours or so, there are some tracks in the mud here. You can see wrapping around. They have come from the north and seem to have skirted elements of the stone. And in fact, you see maybe places where they've circled here a couple times, but they're hooves. And you track 4 of them, perhaps a horse or something like that, but seems to have arrived relatively recently.
Oh, they're like hooves? Are they like a split hoof or like a single hoof?
I would say a single hoof, but let me double check to make sure that I'm not with that because you know what the horse is like. Hooved creatures in general.
Like what kind of?
If it is a horse, it does not split.
Yeah.
It's not a horse.
If it's like an elk.
Yeah,
it's
elks, and they have like the two little.
It is a
backs.
single hoof.
A single hoof.
So something came through here. Maybe a horse. But recently, we should keep an eye out.
Do I recognize the tracks as anything more particularly?
Make a survival check.
But most things that are in forests have like the hoofs, you know,
And what do you get your special thing for?
like deer and stuff.
For nature and history.
I don't think there are any
involving,
wild horse herds around here.
Like flora, fauna, and
You know better than I do.
history of like mediocrity politics.
I think Ming's
Yeah, I
gonna
would say just
ponder
normal.
whether or not there are wild horses in this area.
You can make a nature check if you want.
Yeah,
to
I'm
know.
going to.
Oh shit! It looks like horse tracks. Horse tracks to me.
And I probably also have no idea because it's a total of 7.
That's better than me.
You haven't, in the caves that you're really kind of used to being in, there's not a ton of horses.
No.
And so the Minka may be fascinated by them. Just you're not
change into
really
a horse real
familiar.
quick.
Just like check.
Do we see the tree? Do we see the tree with the purple leaves? from where
So
we are?
off in the distance here, yeah, you do. And not the tree. You see elements of
Round.
purple leaves right up at the top. This tree is quite tall, perhaps, because you can see elements of it peek out above even the tallest of the stones. And some of these stones do rise up to like 30 feet tall, some even a little bit taller.
We might be able to sneak up to like the rock and then see if the trolls are there.
All right. Make a stealth check.
Sneaky.
Anybody else who would like
Always
to can
with
make a
the
stealth check.
You know I'm not good at this.
Are we all going, or are we just sending Ori?
Dirty 20.
What was that?
Are we all going, or are we just sending Ori?
I think I'll follow behind a certain, probably about like 40 feet behind. Oh, natural 20.
Very nice.
Total 23.
Okay, just a little sneakier than Ori.
Also natural 20.
Very nice.
Thank goodness. I rolled a 4 and a 3.
Amazing. So
So for a
the
total
way
of
that
3.
for group stealth checks, so a natural 20 is automatically 2 successes, and so that absolutely saves you.
Getting carried. Hell yeah.
So you get closer, and as Valis begins to kind of Minka, you take advantage of the fact that you are in this kind of like verdant natural place, and there is just little bits of pollen in the air, and you druidcraft some of the pollen to just sprout little sprigs between the plates of Valis's mail, and all of a sudden it's a little bit quieter briefly. Every now and then, like Valis steps and like some little seeds fall out, but not really noticeable. And that is enough, it seems like. That and Cheshire, who seems to be almost like minor illusioning sounds that counterbalance your sounds, and so in this matrixing effects, it's really just sounding more like just snapping twigs and things, not footsteps and somebody coughing, which is what Valis is doing. And there's not a lot of nature sounds, and so that would definitely stand out. But you make your way forward and getting closer and closer. Would you like a visual perspective?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Move this out of the way.
Assuming that it's going to be a biggin,
Yeah.
as they tend to be these days.
One day we're gonna like fight someone in like a 5 by 20 room, which would be one terrible hallway.
Oh, you have no idea how many times you guys have gotten close to being in that situation.
I
we
believe
could be
it.
in a very
I
similar
had
situation
one that I had
for
Against
Starfinder.
Ice Streets, there was a encounter that you guys could have had in that final boss fight. Oops, drop that on there. Where it was a hallway that I actually had to cut down and design to fit on the table itself. But it was literally in the session notes. It was going to be called the Hallway of Death, and 3 exclamation
Good.
marks. But let me pull up our combat camera here. And so at Alberon RPG, you'll be able to see some pictures in a little bit greater detail. You can see a little bit okay here, but much greater detail at Alberon RPG.
From which direction are we approaching?
So at this moment, you are all approaching from the side all the way over there. I actually put it down backwards from how I normally put it. But yeah, you're approaching from right around
This
there.
archway, or
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
And so you are just seeing like little bits of leaves through the lowest parts of that forward-facing rock cropping. And I would say everybody, as you approach, you're probably like, you can put yourselves basically up to that arch.
Okay.
Everybody make a perception check.
can I use my?
You can.
Spot hidden tree.
Following up that natural 20 with a natural 1.
We also got a wheel.
Okay.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should.
I was so focused on
26.
Valis that I
26.
just walked into a rock, actually.
18.
Oh, 1.
1.
Peace.
Okay. So Valis is getting kind of noisy, and so your focus shifts, and you're just like, gotta keep Valis quiet. Valis, all of a sudden, like you get a little itchy, and there's like seeds stuck in your armor, so you begin to pull them out, and the two of you really a little bit focused on your own internal struggle. But for the two of you, first of all, looking in, you can see everything that you can see in front of you. Here, you see all these rising up elements of stone. There are places that you can see where you can certainly gain elevation and kind of be nearby. You do notice that there are no living trees in this area save one, and that is the one that has these purple leaves around the crown. And I would say, Ori, with your check, as you kind of get up and really go all the way to the side, you do see the flank of a horse. And at first that kind of validates what Minka had said, but then as they turn a little bit and you can see it is a centaur. And this individual, you can see, they seem to have elements of like blue body paint on them. They're wearing some kind of a cloth belt that seems to have little bits and bobs attached to it. They have no weapon of any kind that you can see. That miniature does, but they don't. And with that check, you also see not just one, but 2 trolls.
Who did the good check? Because it wasn't us.
No, it was
Ori.
Good
Well,
job.
I mean,
In particular.
With
Chester got an 18,
specialized.
which is nothing really to sneeze at, but
18 is pretty good too. Yeah.
What'd you get? Ori?
Oh,
26.
I don't like how long their arms are.
That's
Oh
the
man,
troll.
it's very.
So what's this guy over here?
What's the word I'm looking
Oh, is that a
That's
tree?
just a tree.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
It's a
looks like a
dead tree.
shield from my end.
no.
I don't like how
It's a tree.
bubbly they look.
Great.
So as you're looking there, Ori, you see this individual. Ori, do you speak Sylvan?
I do.
You do. So you see this individual, the centaur, snaps their head around, and you can see this huge green hand is like pulling the troll around, and they peer out, and this long hooked nose comes first. And even as the nose comes around, you see like this almost vibrant green snot dripping out of it. And it drops to the ground before the nose even clears the corner, but then the rest of the face comes out, and you see these big warts and boils. And as they step, they're close to like 10, 11 feet tall. Each one of these huge boils just kind of moves and pulsates. And they seem to be filled with more of this mucus-like stuff. As they take the hand and kind of leave, it's almost like a toad out of water where it just leaves this big slimy kind of stretch and snaps. But they step over, and you hear this individual who says, "Thlock, go and check the perimeter again. You haven't gone for almost an hour now." And you can see this troll looks and just goes, "Hesitate not put you in charge." He stands up really big and tall, and then this individual, the centaur, says, "No, but if you want my help, you'll do what I say." And there's this brief moment, and you can see almost like this power struggle happen, and then the troll just goes, "Fine. Do it for pretty ladies, not you." And he turns and just... And he begins to walk off to the left and kind of in your direction, Ori.
This is the troll.
Yes, one on the far left. So nearest you, you may not be able to see him unless you... Yeah. He is going to begin to walk all the way around the left and all the way, yeah.
Squeezing through this spot.
Yeah, he steps over. You can see the feet on the rocks. He's not great at climbing, but he clears it and then makes his way around and continues to walk in the direction.
This way?
Yeah, and you heard him say just walk the perimeter.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of duck back I see the two trolls. There's a centaur leading them.
Oh, it was horse hooves.
One of the trolls, the lock, he's coming this way.
Oh.
They're working for someone named Hesitite, probably one of the hags.
Okay.
Alright, we're gonna have to ambush them. Any ideas?
They're from Mucus. They're gonna come check the perimeter right now.
Magical sneaky. Magical sneaky?
Maybe, I don't know.
Pass out, Trace.
And as you cast that, it feels pretty good because you can feel suddenly the of this troll as they approach, and then they appear right around the corner of this stone. Everybody go ahead and, with your path of trace, you had plus 10 to that.
+10.
We can use your previous checks, which are all quite successful. Save Valis. With Valis's success off the natural 20, that pushes all of you well into the 30s. And all of a sudden you see this huge troll just go by, and you hear this kind of distant like whine in the wind off in the distance, and then the troll turns around and in Sylvan they yell, "I'm going!" And he goes and kind of looks, and you can see he just kind of peers, and seemingly in a rush, he just takes a quick glance. Natural 20, he's like, "Oh, they're over here! Shit! Look at those nerds!" No, he just keeps walking. And he passes, he's going to, you imagine, pass within about like 20 feet of you. He's gonna just kind of hug these stones and walk right by. So is there anything that you're doing right now, or are you letting him go past?
Like going by this way?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
This is everybody now like tucked into this archway, up against bits of rock and
Can
stumps.
we see each other?
I would say yes, with the exception of maybe like Minka, who is sitting at like a 43 right now, I think. Or no, a 33.
33.
But they can all like see me because like I am.
And you guys are all relatively aware of each other. You're within Pass Without a Trace together, and so my feeling on that is it's not, you guys aren't taking that plus 10 against each other. You're part of the same group. You're all Harry Potter in the invisibility cloak.
Before I answer your question, is everyone where they want to be in the arcs? Because I kind of just place people, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I was just trailing behind.
I have you here.
Sorry, yeah.
Treasure here. You want to be here
Well, like,
Presumably you're behind the arch.
more
yeah.
hidden, yeah.
or hidden? Okay.
But like, you know,
Yeah.
able to see through it.
All right. I'm gonna look to the other 3,
Okay.
and I'm gonna hold up my hand, and I'm just gonna go,
Okay.
and I'm gonna stop because Ori went no.
So as Ori whispers to you, the troll stops. Kind of. Just continues to walk. Roll to 3.
That thing is filled with poison. We need to draw them away so that we don't raise the alarm. We can't face them all at the same time.
Valis, you watch as he passes out of sight back around the other rocks.
That one was away from the others.
That's like 40 feet away. We need to focus on the centaur. The trolls aren't smart.
Okay.
If we can get that centaur, then we might be able to get the trolls to separate more easily.
Okay. So, like, get him, like... Or get him, like... I don't know, talking?
I think get them like...
Okay.
You're making the most vague hand gestures. And like Minka just said, get them like, or get them like, and then just kind of trailed off. And in my brain, it was like Minka turning into a giant eagle and just lifting them
like
off the ground.
stabbies or talkies.
Off that way, right?
All right, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You're kind of confusing me. I'm not sure what you're suggesting, but if what you did in the woods with the bandit, I don't think that's gonna work here.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the centaur is controlling the trolls, but there's a very
Sneak
tenuous
forward.
situation
Okay.
here.
You sneak forward, Cheshire kind
I
of creeping
can
along.
see the other 2 in there,
Okay.
and enemies abound on the troll that I can see.
Okay. So as you sneak forward, one thing, before you can get around that corner, with your perception check, you are aware of the fact that there is a thin, silvery line that is tracing through the grass and the little elements of kind of muck there. And you maybe have not seen the spell used, but there's something in the back of your mind that immediately tells you that that is some kind of alarm,
I don't
perhaps.
want to cross it. Can I still, like, peer around and see?
No, and so there's a.
It's
yeah,
like right between these two.
correct, yeah. So like the minis maybe like yeah, exactly.
I'm just
All
saying.
right.
This way.
The centaur seems to have some ulterior motives, but the trolls are just doing it. So they're working for the hags, I think.
Okay.
Do you have any others? So wait, I think we should ambush them, but I'm not sure what you're suggesting.
I'm suggesting that we focus on getting the centaur, because if the centaur isn't giving the trolls orders, then they're going to be in disarray.
Okay. I
Did
have
he
an idea.
come through this way? Or did
No,
he
you
come
went all
back?
the way around.
If we can
So
take
if I
out
go
the
all the way
centaur,
around-
then we can lure the trolls
same
to a
line
more
over here?
advantageous
There is,
spot.
but you can get around that corner before the line. So the line itself is between that big boulder and the actual piece.
Wonderful. As soon as I can lay eyes on the troll, enemies abound.
Okay.
Does anyone
So-
know if centaurs can be charmed? I want to.
As you're having this conversation, time slows down because we're rolling for initiative here. And you'll get that spell off before we start, but we'll give me 1 second to set all the initiative stuff up. All right.
Who wants to
So
be in
should we
charge of
roll
the
for
sword?
initiative?
Yes. Okay. Nice. Guys got real lucky on the trolls. Less so there. Okay.
I felt like we had the chance to do an ambush. and I feel
You
like
had
that-
such a good chance.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I
man.
even counted down.
Yeah. But if we can't fight them right here because the trolls.
No, but we were gonna fight them right here, away from the tree.
But I feel like the root system, the roots are all over this place.
Well,
Because the roots are going to be at least 4 times larger than the tree
Okay.
itself.
Anybody natural 20?
no.
All right, 25 to 20.
20.
Dirty 20?
Okay. And Cheshire has a higher, or no.
No, I think I do.
Yeah. Okay.
19.
Yeah, 20.
So Ori and then Cheshire. Anybody 20 to 15?
19.
Okay. 19. Where are you hanging out, Minka?
9.
Okay.
Is it Cheshire one somewhere?
What is your dexterity?
Ooh.
It is on a different page. Plus 3.
Plus 3. Okay. Just 1 second. All right.
What are you looking for?
Minka, you don't have to go last.
Cheshire.
Oh, okay.
Yay!
So the way that this works out, Cheshire's spell is going to go off. We'll resolve that first. Then it goes right to Ori, then back to Cheshire, then to Valis. Then we're going to this centaur, then Minka, and then the trolls. So you go ahead and you cast Enemies Abound.
That is an intelligence saving throw from the troll.
And that's from the bright green one?
Yes.
Which one?
The one. This one. That one.
That is going to be a 10.
That is a failure.
Yes, it is.
Target loses the ability to distinguish friend from foe regarding all creatures it can see as enemies until the spell ends.
Okay. 1 second.
And whenever it chooses another creature as a target, it must choose at random.
Excellent. And then that is charmed.
It is. I don't think so. I think it's. Frightened?
Frightened. Okay. That sounds
It's
right.
like paranoia.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go ahead, you throw this spell out. Kind of first, you go in one direction, you see the alarm spell, you have to skirt all the way around. And as you do, you kind of hear the other troll going off. And actually, because you come around, you can see this secondary troll right next to that other mushroom closest to you, Valis. No. Yeah. He's walked around now. He's entered into the grove.
Right here?
Nope, other side. There we go. Yeah, perfect.
He's here?
Yep. And so you can see him here, but you toss the spell forwards, and you can see this little invisible mote of energy just poof, hits the troll on the side of the head. And as he was just sitting there, like picking his nose, sitting on the boulder, just kind of watching stuff, you just see the head just go, boom. It looks around, and then the eyes come big, and he looks a little bit frightened, but we'll get back to that. That is your kind of initiating action, which brings us into initiative. Ori, what would you like to do? Cheshire, you're on deck.
So as we're talking about this, suddenly enemies abound. I imagine
Is it clear to us that you just casted a
Giggling or
spell?
something.
Probably not, because she's out of your sight line.
Yeah,
Okay.
and also still under the cloak of.
Okay, and you had just hit this guy, right?
No.
I've done nothing.
Oh, you hit this one. Okay. Right, because you're here now.
Yep.
Okay. So probably like, if we get the centaur, then we can draw the others away from the tree. But we need to do it quick.
Or you hear like a bird off in the distance, and like there's some kind of commotion happening. But that is your turn, Ori?
No, then I'm gonna start moving in this direction.
Okay.
To see kind of like where that troll is heading now.
So immediately you turn around, Cheshire's gone. The only bright pink in this kind of like muddled landscape of brown dirt and little tufts of green grass. Very noticeable.
Turn back, be like, I think Cheshire's gone ahead.
Or
I'm gonna go and
very
start
quickly.
looking.
No problem.
Bonus action, I'm gonna use my eye for detail
Sure,
to try and
make an
spot
investigation
where
check.
did Cheshire go and what's happening now.
If we're going off our last stealth check, it's
20.
39. So
Oh, jeez.
good luck.
Athletic chase.
Well, but I'll still see the other people.
Do you need to stay within that?
No,
Okay.
it's just
very
the
nice.
initial casting.
So I think I go up to about there,
Okay.
and then I got a 24.
With a 24, easily you see now this bare, almost silver string glowing in the ground. This seems to be some kind of a trap or spell of some kind, and so probably not wise to cross it unless you want to.
It's just a string? Can I like jump over it?
Yeah.
Or is it? No, I don't trust magic. But I don't see anyone here from here.
So you're acknowledging that magic is stronger than you, is what you're saying.
No, because I've never said magic isn't strong. I'm gonna go this way and see.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It is within 30 feet.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. So
My bad.
You do just barely out of the corner of your eyes. You like turn around. You see like this little
just like-
of pink as Cheshire vanishes out of sight. And you have a vague idea that she's in that direction.
Yeah.
I think it's only when you
Anything
cast
else,
it,
Ori?
though.
I don't think it stays. I think it stays with the person.
Can I use my action?
I don't believe
That's
so.
all it
Is
says.
this sheer cliff face, or can I get up onto some of this?
Those are
area?
pretty sheer. You can see places where there are like platforms that your miniature could stand on, and those are ones that you could like get to. The other ones you can climb, but that's like an action to do so.
Okay. Well, I still have my action,
Yeah.
so I think I'm gonna try to climb
Yeah, make an athletics
up
check.
over here to get a better view of the tree.
Unless you have a climb speed.
I don't think I have.
Okay, so make an athletics check.
I think it is just when you cast.
Just when
Kind
you
of
cast?
like worded the same as like bless, where if you bless someone and they go out of range.
So we'll
obviously
we'll
bless.
keep it for now, and then we'll check it later.
Okay.
12.
12. Okay. So with a 12, Ori, you start like scrambling over, and you're making a good bit of noise, but you do get to the top. As you get to the top, you get it to the top, and you can see this centaur looking directly at you. As you have like knocked some stones and things down, and so you just slide back down.
No, I think I'll stay up there.
Oh,
But I'm like crouched down, and, you know.
that is your turn, Ori. That brings us to you, Cheshire. You see this troll look a little bit confused. What are you doing?
I'm just making my way back.
Okay. That's all you need for this combat. You make your way back to safety. That is that's your turn, Cheshire.
Starting shit and then Ori getting.
That brings us to
Par for the course.
Valis. Valis, where you are, you hear Cheshire's got ahead, and then Valis kind of like, or Ori kind of runs into this area,
take care of
and then
themselves.
you hear him jump and begin to up the rocks.
All right. First, I take a deep sigh,
Yes, free action. Paladin feature.
and then is it obvious to me that Ori has been spotted?
So as you're going, you go, and then you see from the very top, Ori just go, duck down, and so you can make of that what you will.
Okay.
Appropriate.
All right. I'm going to try to sneak this way and try to get eyes on the things over here. So I
Okay.
think I'd be going 1, 2, 3, So I'm over here.
Okay.
And what do I see?
So you rush over here, this dead tree kind of like moldering away behind you. You can see it's like becoming mulch almost in real time. But in front of you, you can see this the back of this troll that you had seen kind of previously looking around and eat its own snot. It's making its way towards the centaur. Do you speak Sylvan?
Yeah.
Okay, so you could hear in this moment it's going, "There's nobody, the orcs are and like is already beginning to talk. You see the other troll who is like all the way in the far distance, just kind of like staring up at the sky, and you see this centaur, and you like follow their glance, and then you see Ori just behind from the other side.
All right. Oh man, that's not a very far range. Let's see. All right. I'm going to be over here, move over here with the rest of my movement, and stay hidden.
Okay.
And then I'm going to.
Oh, we got another wheel. Specifically for goggles.
Nice.
Range. I think I'm just gonna action hide better.
Okay, make a stealth check for sure.
Hide.
You're not very stealthy. Even with the magic kind of clinging to you, you feel pretty exposed here.
Okay.
So make a stealth check.
Plus.
Oh, look at that. That's gonna be a 27.
27.
That's
very
with
nice.
disadvantage.
And with your wheel, there is like an extra just overgrown area that you're able to duck into, and your kind of green hair almost looks like moss across the stone, and you feel real hidden now. That is your turn, Valis. And so that does bring us to this centaur individual. So, Ori,
No.
you can see that they make eye contact with you, and they can see you, and then behind you, you see this troll stomp up and just go, "There's no one there." The centaur, like the eyes narrow, and he just goes, "What are you talking about, you idiot?" He goes over and grabs onto him, and as he reaches over, you see this magic trace from him, but at the same time, you watch as he snaps his fingers, and this stream of magic just splits into two and streaks forwards towards the other troll as well. And he casts haste on both of them. Could you please take 2 spell markers, doesn't matter which ones, just toss them on the trolls, and then a concentration on this centaur.
This works to our advantage.
That is going to be his action. And then, as a bonus action, you watch. So he snaps his fingers to split this spell, and then Ori, still making eye contact with you, with that snap, he rises up and he points at you. And as a bonus action, he is going to use Hasten spell and cast Mind Sliver at you.
Do I get, what is it, a save?
It's an intelligence
You
save.
have an intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence saving throw, and is it against being charmed? It's not.
It is
charmed,
not.
Right?
Wait, does he have to be able to see Ori?
No, well, he can see Ori right now. Ori's like perched
I have,
up on
like,
the top of the thing.
Probably 3/4 cover.
Oh, okay. So
You have full cover right now, yeah.
okay.
But he knows where it is. It's not like a line of sight spell.
15? 15 is a failure, unfortunately.
Ouch.
Ori, you are going to take 10 points of psychic damage, and you can go ahead and subtract 2 from your next saving throw before the end of your next turn.
Okay.
But that is his entire, well, that's his action's bonus action. I guess he can see you, and so with that, he's going to gallop 5, 10, 15, 20, 20.
Additionally, as part of enemies about, if an enemy provokes an opportunity attack, the creature must make that attack if it's able to.
1 second, let me see what the reach on this creature is.
He was within 10 feet of him?
are these large
He's right
creatures?
here, right?
They are large creatures. However, that is not going to.
He was here, so it was within 10 feet.
He's not. Yeah, but he doesn't have a 10-foot reach.
They don't.
Oh, okay.
They only got a 5-foot.
Here, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's going to move back, and you can kind of see Ori. He turns at the end, the hooves kind of like skidding in the elements of dirt, and he maintains eye contact with you. But you can see this magic kind of channeling out, rushing from him and into the trolls, speeding up their passage through time. That is his turn, however, and that does bring us to you, Mika.
All right. Well, considering everyone just kind of went forward, I'm gonna head towards that rock.
Alrighty.
2, 3, 4, 5,
6, yeah.
What's your movement?
35.
Alright, you can move another. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Can I see anything from here? I don't think so.
I think you might be able to see the centaur. It's hard to tell
Yeah.
with this rock, but you might be able to like get a glimpse of him.
Where are you?
I'm like over.
I would say that's
probably
probably full cover as well, just from like the multiple different things that you're getting
Yeah.
partial
I'd also
cover.
probably like be like, watch out, chop, and point out the string before you.
I probably just ran directly through it, to be honest.
I think that's probably fair.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Minka?
Also spotted already.
Yeah, so I can't see any enemies yet. I'm currently concentrating.
On what?
Pass all the trace.
Oh, is that concentration?
Yeah, it's a concentration spell. So what I'm going to do instead is, do I get the sense that the battle has definitely started?
Oh, that's a difficult one to tell. I mean, if
Right.
you wanted to use your action to make a insight check, you could probably tell.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ori kind of winced.
Inside.
Ow, my mind got slivered.
All right, so I rolled.
Non-magical Ori says, somehow knowing the name of the spell.
I got a natural 20 for a total of 25, so I'm guessing yes.
Yes, absolutely. So
Okay.
all of a sudden, it's like the wind blows and you close your eyes and you can hear the rustles of these purple leaves. And in them, you can hear the kind of tense sounds of movement and shifting and surprise. And you know combat is happening.
I'm gonna assume, use my bonus action to assume a star form.
Okay.
I will choose the archer for now, and then probably have to change it later. But for now, archer, but I can't see any enemies, so I'm not gonna make an
No
attack.
worries. So for one turn at least, you are in the form of the archer. The stars spread out behind you and become a celestial bow. That is your turn, Minka. And that does bring us to the troll. So at the start of the turn is when this happens, correct? Roll a d10.
No, you don't have to roll. He just chooses at random from among the creatures that you can see within range of the attack spell or other ability it's using.
So that would be like including his movement, right?
Yes.
So let's see here. How fast can our friend move?
Speedy boy.
Can you see Ori?
No, Ori's got full cover.
Oh, he has
So I
some
think-
The
cover.
only person who is within range is this other troll. And so turning
get
around,
out.
he's gonna lumber over.
Does he have more movement though with haste to make it
does,
to the
but-
centaur?
That's true, he does. Although I don't think he can see the centaur, and so he's definitely gonna go for the only thing that he can see easily because he's not very smart.
Troll fight, troll fight.
Now
And
instead
so-
of
Right next
fighting the
to
troll
tree,
away, we are now
unfortunately.
having the trolls fight each other
The first
right
thing
next
that
to the
happens,
tree.
he goes ahead and casts haste on these trolls,
Not
and the
ideal.
first troll who looked confused now looks confused very fast. And so they rush over to the other one and just slam into them. And they're going to take both of their, or I guess they're going to take all of their attacks, which are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 attacks.
Cool.
Yeah, hasted trolls are nasty.
Talon has equalized the playing field with a woe, so we've got a wheel and a woe now.
Okay, so give me just 1 second here. I'm gonna do some quick math.
It had been a while,
12,
Talon.
that is going to be a miss, and 1 hit. So this troll rushes forwards and just bites the other troll in the face. And this other troll is like, they're not even and like trying to like pry him off, manages to push him away just in time. The other one's like scratches but misses, and you can see in that moment poison just spills forth from that troll's face, and where they bit, one of these boils just pops and it spatters all over. The water begins to sizzle, and these mushrooms just melt. But he just roars in pain. He is going to push off, and not quite sure what's going on, is just going to say, give me 1 second here. Frog, focus! He's going to turn and like eyes darting around, still not really sure what's happening. I think probably as an action, we'll make a perception check. Natural 20. And so Valis, unfortunately, just shifts his attention over to you and doesn't quite see you, but you know what he's gonna do? in his brain, in this moment of panic and pain, he pushes him and will provoke an attack of opportunity, but is going to 5, 10, 15, 20. And as he's like running away and towards the area that would be the kind of entrance, it's less that he sees you, Valis, and more that full speed, like haste running as a troll, he almost slams into you. And you're just kind of in the path of his way. Valis. Very quickly, a 10-foot tall troll with these huge bulbous boils and this massive stomach just woof over you and almost slams into you. They like run like a foot or two behind and then turn around, and they are going to take 3 attacks against you. The first one, he snaps out and tries to bite. That is going to be a 15 to hit. And so bites down, you raise up the shield, which he snaps his teeth on. One of the teeth crack in half, but then he scratches out with both of his claws. That is going to be a 19 to hit.
Miss.
And a 21 to hit.
Hits.
All right. So only one hit. Valis, you are going to be taking 15 points of slashing damage plus 2 points of poison damage. And then, as its hasted action, it will take one more attack. And that is only going to be a 12. So another miss. And he's going so fast, he tries to bite, you catch him with the shield, he scratches you with the claw, but then his momentum almost flattens him. And he like slams into the ground, slides about 5 feet beyond you, but claws his way back up and then onto his feet. He does take an attack of opportunity from the other troll as he is running. That is absolutely going to be a hit because it's something like 24.
Damn.
And so the only thing that he can hit is his friend. That is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8. 12 points of slashing damage plus 4 points of poison damage, which is reduced to 0.
I was going to say, if they're not immune to poison, I would be flabbergasted.
But he turns, and as his friend again scratches out towards him, he just again goes, "Quit it!" Kicks him in the face, and then just continues to run, almost slamming into you, Valis. He takes his attacks, but that is all that the trolls can do, and that does bring us to the top of the round. Ori, you are up. Cheshire, you're on deck. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna steady aim, and I'm gonna precision. I'm just gonna strike him, actually.
Okay.
I can choose if I want to precision after.
Pew pew.
Oh, you attack her?
Single pew.
I'm gonna attack the centaur as it's trying to get away.
Get wrecked, hopefully.
This one's caught.
Maybe.
Natural 20.
Very nice. Yeah, that's a hit.
Oh.
And I'm gonna go ahead and say that yes, I'm going to give this guy a brand of fire damage.
Nice.
And I think I might also give him a good old trip attack. So he needs to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Let's go through a whole bunch of rolls.
And-
So natural 20, which is a total of...
Okay, so he does not get knocked prone.
24.
Yeah, he does not get knocked prone.
Okay.
But he is taking a buttload of damage. That's a lot of dice.
Nice.
Throwing stuff everywhere.
It's the rogue's way. Too many dice. Just.
Oh, terrible numbies though. Look at that.
Oh.
Trash. Okay, so that's
You get to double roll dice.
that's still still okay.
So it makes it like a normal attack.
So 6 is 44.
He's going to need like a natural 20 to maintain concentration.
Yeah, 44 damage.
44 damage.
And it's 8 of which is the fire damage from the brand. The rest is magical piercing.
So is that 40...
44.
44, 8 of which is fire damage. Okay, so
And he has 1 brand now.
the DC is 34 for this concentration check. So he needs a natural 20, which is going to be an absolute failure. So as you strike him and this arrow like streaks through, first of all, as a reaction, or no, he's not going to do that. He's going to take this arrow, this crossbow bolt, straight into the arm. And as he does, you can see the face narrows and winces in pain. He sneers, and instantly these two trolls just lose their speed and look nauseous. But that is fantastic. Anything else, Ori?
That is it for me.
afterwards.
Okay.
Can we have like the spell circle?
Yeah. It's over on the floor, I think, near Tina's feet.
Oh, I see it.
Okay. Is it then?
That does bring us to Cheshire.
Oops, one more.
There.
-2 to dexterity.
Cheshire, completely oblivious that anything has happened, is just making her way back over.
Okay.
Where'd everybody go?
Guys?
You get to the end and your party is left again. They keep going ahead, those assholes.
Telepathy Minko, where'd you guys go?
Forward.
Why?
That's your turn, Cheshire? Alrighty. Valis, what would you like to do?
All right. If you can dodge a troll, you
bet she
can
probably
dodge a
said that
ball.
out loud.
I would
She
like to
didn't
take
realize
the
what was
dodge
happening.
action.
Okay.
Let's go, a classic.
And then, if you're looking at me, you can kind of see like the map in my head as I position myself to line up these two trolls.
Okay.
Nice.
So probably just one step over here. So, and then I'm going to bonus action sunbeam both the trolls.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what, a dex saving throw?
Uh,
I believe they both have disadvantage.
let's see.
Because they're,
Let's make a
lethargic.
Constitution saving throw. DC 14.
DC 14. Yeah, but okay. So one is definitely going to succeed with the 24. The other one almost certainly will not.
Well, because they're slowed by being unhasted.
The other one's a 9. So one failure, one
Exhaustion?
success.
What
The thing for haste is really just you can't move or take an action for their next.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The old haste in like 3.5.
That's
was
what I was thinking. Wasn't it like
yeah.
just you're exhausted for a round or something?
It was worse. You literally can't do anything. You lose a round essentially.
And which one passed? Which one succeeded?
The one who is nearest to you would have failed.
Okay. And so he would have passed. All right. So I think that they both take 68 damage.
68?
No. Let's see. The one that failed takes 68, and I need to.
The other one's
see if I
halved.
can.
And not blinded.
Which one is blinded and which one's not?
The one that failed.
You need to get a bunch of like golden
which one
D8s that you can
failed,
use
though?
just for
It does matter.
Yeah.
Sunbeam.
Oh
Which-
yeah.
which
I
one
just
failed?
wrote it on the app. Just. to
Oh
save
yeah, that
time.
makes sense.
Which one failed?
The one closest to Valis.
Yeah.
All right.
The other one's fine.
So this one takes 30 damage,
Okay.
and he's blinded.
What kind of damage is this?
Radiant.
Okay.
The other one takes 15 damage and is not blinded.
Correct. Sorry. Are these undead or ooze by any chance?
They are not, unfortunately. Sorry.
Okay.
And
And then now I am concentrating.
Okay. You concentrate, holding this beam of light, and as you do, it just beams through, and you could hear they just both. They just like it almost like burns and evaporates part of one of their rib cages right up front, and they like try to lean down to almost swallow the light. Their first instinct to just bite anything that hurts them, but immediately just shines right in their eyes, and they just go up, smoke coming out of this like burned retinas. Anything else, Valis?
That's it.
All right, and you are ready to dodge. That is your turn. That brings us to the centaur. So, the centaur has lost his concentration. You have broken haste.
Good job breaking haste.
He is
make up
going
For
messing this up.
Causing haste in the first place.
No, that definitely was an unexpected.
All according
and
to
also,
plan.
your idea of getting the centaur just somehow made it harder to do now. That the
All
centaur is
according
the
to
one-
plan.
Guys,
Ori,
we're
I
so
hate
good
your
at
plans.
tactics.
Looking around, you can see he leans forwards, and this centaur makes eye contact with you, but in his hand whispers these words and then throws them off to the side. And you can see this spell travels about 30 feet and seems to be about to die right next to this troll. And then all of a sudden snaps and it just goes about 30 feet further and to the far troll. And you watch as he casts Antagonize on him. The troll himself is going to make a wisdom saving throw. That is going to be a failure, so the troll takes 4d4 damage.
44.
Nope. It's 3 plus...
Wait, I'm sorry. The centaur is
Casting a spell on that
troll.
So does he move a little forward so he can get to line of sight?
Yeah, 5 feet to the side. 5 feet a little further to the side because he wants clear line of sight. And then the troll is going to take 7 points of psychic damage and immediately uses reaction to take a melee attack against Valis.
Oh, interesting.
Valis, that is going to be a 23 to hit.
Was that with
At
disadvantage?
because it's blinded.
That's right.
Double disadvantage.
An 11 to hit. As we cast Antagonize, and he whispers in his hands, and as he throws the spell, you hear the words as they strike into the troll in Sylvan, and they just say, "Get him, you idiot!" And the troll turns and just goes, "I'm trying!" and just goes to swipe at you and just slams his hand into the stone, and you watch as the fingernails just peel back along and just almost peel off of the finger. And he just goes, "I'm gonna get you!" And just like reading, he's going for you, but he's blind. That is his action. That is going to bring his movement up, so he's gonna have a movement.
What's the range in that spell from the centaur?
60 and then 120.
Yeah, because he seems to be metagaming, a sorcerer who can use meta magic features to do things like a jerk.
Yeah. It was like, how do I make these really slow guys a threat? Give somebody who can make them fast. So he kind of gallops using the horse-like lower body to maneuver around the rocks, and you lose sight of him, Maury. You do see like elements of their head as they like behind. So you have a rough idea. But they are out of sight, and that is their turn. That brings us to Minka. The trolls are on deck. Minka, the form of the archer, is behind you.
Yep. So she's gonna move more forward behind the next outcropping of rock to see if she can see anyone. Yeah. And I can see the bright green troll through the tree at this point, and I guess I can't see anyone else. But just like shooting a calf now.
It would be like a real tough shot. That's Luke Skywalker, Beggar's Canyon. Not sponsored.
Alright, so I move
Beggar's Canyon.
3, 5, 6.
This session sponsored by the Tatooine Tourist Department.
So maybe a little further this way.
Okay.
And seeing that the troll's literally right next to the tree,
Yeah.
she's trying to figure out if she could do anything about it, which unfortunately can't.
So as you
really.
slide over here, you can see this tree, ancient such as it is, not terribly tall, but the roots kind of twisted around this rock or the series of rocks that sort of sit behind the pool itself. And these roots almost certainly like draping into the water. You can see where they form almost like a skirt around. And so should like poison or anything get into the pond,
Yeah.
almost certainly that will spell trouble for this
Yeah.
tree.
So, can Minka assess like the wall of the pond to see if she could stone shape more, like
A wall.
oh, like yeah, it's only 5 feet.
I mean, it's stone, so you absolutely could shape it.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a lid over it.
Yeah. So like how much space does like the pond itself take up? I'm guessing it's more than 5 feet.
It's about 10 feet across, yeah.
Across. Okay. So she's going to try to at least cover half of it.
Okay.
So basically make a little like overhang to,
Like this
to protect as
side?
much of the water as she can
No
in stone
problem.
shape.
So on one side there is the largest section of rock is made out of this like decorative little like chubby looking frog that is spitting out a fountain of water. And so you're like, oh man, but you shape that stone and the little frog cracks and then rolls over as the stone kind of becomes a wave and just over half of the pond. No problem.
And then bonus action, So I can only see the one dude. I don't want to shoot it that close to the tree though, and I can't see that guy. I'm guessing.
I think so. Again, you can probably see him. I think he probably has half cover.
Okay, I'll make an attempt. Bonus action to try to shoot that one.
So what I will say is, Minka, you're like getting ready, and you recognize, yes, they have half cover, but the half cover is provided by the treant that you're trying to.
Oh,
so
yeah,
just
no.
especially with your history, just something to think about. But
So-
it's a pretty clear shot. Otherwise,
It's blinded, right?
Correct.
So she would have advantage on the attack.
It's ranged.
I believe so.
I think it's only for melee.
Disadvantage against attacks and advantage on melee attacks, I think, but not ranged. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I would say it's
Attack
advantage.
rolls. Look at that.
Oh,
It's
it's
advantage.
attack
Yeah.
full attack rolls.
Yeah.
Huh? I thought it was just melee.
So it can't see the attack because it's blinded. So
I guess that
advantage.
does make sense. Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead. You got advantage.
Don't roll 2 ones.
Deep breath. Oh,
Pressure.
natural 20.
Very nice.
All right.
So as this creature like is yelling, you hear the words strike into him from antagonize, and he just turns around and goes, "I'm trying!" And then you see the celestial arrow just flying right towards him. Roll damage on that bad boy. Roll double everything on the dice.
Right. So it's 10 radiant damage.
10 radiant damage. Okay.
Yeah. It's just bonus. Just a bonus attack, guys.
And he is the one that is most hurt so far. Okay.
And then that's it, because that's my bonus action movement and action.
All of my charges were replenished because I got a critical hit.
There you go. That is also
Forgot
true.
about that.
Oh, I forgot about that too.
So that brings us to the trolls. At the beginning of the trolls' turn, you watch as Minka, directly in front of you, the eyes are like charred and scarred away. They're going to be blinded probably for life, it looks like. But all of a sudden, you watch as they just go, "Ugh!" And they take a bit of the skin and just yank it off. And as they do, you see fresh skin beginning to grow underneath. And you imagine they are probably healing every round.
I hate it.
Yeah. But as they get a little bit healthier, they are lethargic, so they cannot move and they cannot take actions. All that they can do is take bonus actions.
Oh, actions I think count as actions in that language. We looked that up before.
You don't want to say that.
Yes, I can't get you up without.
Yes, that's correct. That's right. We did look that up before. Okay. So at this time, they're just going to sit and chill and be really ill. That is the return free action. Ori, what would you like to do? And Cheshire, you're on deck.
I go first, so I can't get you over there.
Ori holds his turn. Cheshire, what would you like to... Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna ready in action
Okay.
to steady aim fire at this guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, Cheshire, get me over there. He's getting away. And then ready to shoot
Okay.
if Cheshire actually listens to me. I'm hoping that our recent
All right, that is your turn. That brings us to Cheshire. Cheshire, when Minka tells you that you went forward, you're like, why? And then you hear from above you, Cheshire, send me forward.
Okay.
I hope you monkey paw the hell out of this
Yeah,
person.
I know.
So how far is Ori from me at the moment?
25 or 30, I didn't count it.
If it's within
It's probably 40 feet.
40?
Yeah, because if it's going around that rock wall, you're going off 2 diagonals.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you're a little bit up, so I'm probably
Oh,
add
I
another
thought
5
that
feet.
Cheshire could see me from here.
She
over
can
the-
She can see you as the range.
I can
She's
see
just 40 feet
Oh,
away.
I see.
I can't. I have to touch you to do this.
Oh.
So Ori scrambles out of range and then says, touch me! Cheshire, what are you doing?
That seems once again par for the
Making
course.
my way towards Ori, I guess.
So you see Ori has gotten himself stuck up on some rocks.
Can I free action fall back down to get dimension toward?
Anything else, Cheshire?
That's it.
Okay. Cheshire's ready. The action is held. Valis, what would you like to do? And this centaur's on deck.
Alright. Action dodge again.
Okay.
And then bonus action keep the sunbeam up. So for flavor, can I say that just like, I'm holding my sword and the beam just kind of shoots through the sword?
Yeah, no problem. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you take the bead, and the way that you do this is almost like you in your hand, you jam the bead itself into the hilt of your sword, and the whole hilt begins to glow, and then the sword begins to glow, and you can direct it almost as like the blade. But no problem.
All right.
Poor man's sunbeam. Sunblade, rather.
So 14 DC Constitution saving throw from both trolls again.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and roll for damage.
That is going to be a 17 from one and only a 10 from the other. So failure on the one further away this time.
All right. How long are they blinded for? They're blinded until my next turn. Okay. So this one is now blinded and takes. Where'd my dice roll go?
So Minka, you can see as like Valos begins to move, that troll who had just ripped away that skin suddenly, these two like fresh eyes pop open and begin to look around.
Just as a point of fixing, stone shape is touch, so I could not do that.
Good to know. Good to know.
I just shot the guy.
And the rocks just
Pretend like that didn't happen because it didn't.
26 damage to this guy.
very nice.
13 radiant damage to the other guy, and this one's blinded. And that's all I'll do.
All right. So the sunbeam, you pull it across them, and it just right across the chest. The one in front of you with their eyes now open is able to get a little bit out of the way and is not blinded. He's learned his lesson. The other one hasn't. He looks directly into the sun and is immediately blinded. You can see the eyes charred. Anything else, Valis?
Nope.
Okay. That brings us to this other individual. So, let me just mark off the spell from before. And haste. Okay. So, he is going to...
Well, you're gonna go again before I do.
25 grade.
40. I'm not able to get all the way around. Is going to start moving off the board. Get to about here. Ugh.
Can I see him now this way?
I don't think so.
No, he's too low.
Yeah. So galloping, or you're like, hold, and you're waiting, and Cheshire's ready, and you're in your mind, you're like, this is the perfect maneuver. You have set this up right. This is not going to be like the trap that you just set that didn't work. You're definitely going to be able to use this held action. So that is the Centaur's turn. Minka, what would you like to do?
Okay, so, everyone is still there. Now she's gonna run up to touch. To touch.
So from where you were, you go stone shape. Oh, right. And you rush over and then stone shape. The stone actually grows this time.
All right, for realsies. All right, and then
Chunk.
Yeah.
Chunk. Oh, I killed the tree. We lose.
What are you doing?
The forest dies
stone
around
shape.
you.
Good as new. Good as new. Ah!
My fault. Everything.
Good as new. Good as new.
Perfect. Look at that.
Good as new.
Okay. So the stone grows over the pond, shielding about half of it.
Come around behind the trolls.
This one's blinded.
The one in front of me is blinded?
Yeah.
Okay. And since I am no longer in danger of shooting a tree, we'll shoot again.
Okay. Mika says confidently.
And ooh, that's very good. Not a 27 to hit.
27 absolutely hits. Yeah.
That's fine. 12 radiant damage.
12 radiant damage.
Rolled much better.
All right. So the radiant beam pulled across him from Sunbeam, and he roars out as he's blinded, and then this arrow of celestial light hits him from behind, and he is so confused and already just attacking random people to begin with. This guy's having a bad time. Anything else, Minka?
That was my movement, a bonus action, so I'm good.
Okay. So that brings us to the trolls, who actually get a turn now. Let's see. Is he still going after people, right?
And he's blind.
How does that work when he's blinded?
Probably just goes after in the direction of the last person that he saw.
Well, he just got shot from behind.
Yeah,
It's
so
still at
He's probably
random.
gonna
It's still
just
at random.
wheel.
Oh, still at random.
Must choose the target at random from among the creatures it can see within range of the attack spell or other ability it's using. If an
Odds
enemy
and ends.
provokes an opportunity attack, it has to
Can't
take
see.
it. But it can't
If
see.
if it moves away from the tree, I'll be happy, and if it's directly at my face,
Then you can be happy.
yay!
As it turns around, and as you see the sunbeam cuts across, it points directly at Valis. Even though it's blind, it goes, "I'll get you," and kind of trips and then wheels around and starts running directly towards you. It stomps over, and it doesn't really take an attack. Like, it's going to take these attacks at disadvantage, but the attack is really it's running full speed and inadvertently just kicks you as it's like going. But the first attack at disadvantage, that kick is going to be a lowly 10.
No.
And so they
Hooray.
kick, and they kind of feel the garments as they just miss, and they slide in the sand and turn around and rake their claw across. That is going to be a natural 1 as they throw themselves off balance
Hooray.
and fall prone. But prone on the ground, you know what? They are going to take their last attack. You can't go any more disadvantaged than you already are. And they try to bite you on the ground.
No! Ankle biting.
23 to hit. So
My ankles.
he slams into the ground with that critical miss, missing you badly, and you feel triumphant. But for a minute, he's just like, "I'm not on ground, you up with me!" And he just bites into you. Minka, you are gonna take 8 points of piercing damage plus an additional 6 points of poison damage. And you are poisoned to the start of the troll's next turn. So, Minka, all of a sudden, as he bites into you, you feel the venom just into your blood, and you feel all of a sudden, as you look down, your blue skin has these green lines just tracing along your veins, and you can see it like pulling towards your lymph nodes. That is that troll. The other one is going to, they're no longer blinded. And so, Valis, they're going to attack you. But the way that they're going to do this is a little bit different. So they look down at you and they go, "You're too fast." And he bites off his own thumb. He's going to take, in doing that, 4 points of slashing damage.
And that tells
And
us how it
spray
happens.
poison in a 15-foot cube over... Can you make a Constitution saving throw, please?
Does him doing damage to himself is a requirement for this move?
It is.
Okay. Can I intercept it? My reaction?
What is the wording on that?
All
Does it
right.
have to be an ally? That's the real thing I'm asking.
Because that would be hilarious.
Yeah, as long as it's not worded as an ally, I think you can.
Whack his hand away from
I mean, that would be amazing.
When a creature I can see hits a target other than me.
Oh, you know what,
within
though?
5 feet of me with an attack.
So this troll takes 2d6 slashing damage. This damage can't be reduced in any way.
Okay.
So I think they took that into account when they were writing.
Oh, that
these
would've been
rules.
amazing.
I know that was, I love
you
that
don't.
idea. I love that idea. So
Alright.
make a Constitution saving throw.
Constitution?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Natural 20.
Very nice. So you are not poisoned. However, you are taking 28 points of poison damage,
28?
halved to 14.
Is
As
this a
they-
spell effect?
Spray across. It is not. As they bit off their own thumb and spit it onto the ground, they're spraying you with their own poisonous blood. And you see already in that little bone bit, this little baby thumb begin to push its way out as they regenerate. But yeah, they seem to be able to bite off bits of their body to poison
Love
people.
that. Don't love that at all.
That is, however, his entire turn. He's actually going to shift a little bit because his friend just bit him twice. And so he's trying to keep an eye behind him too. Just kind of turning so he can see if his friend tries to get him. But that is his turn. He's not functionally moving anywhere. That brings us to top of the round, Ori. Ori, from where you are, you can see one of the trolls goes blind, begins to wheel around and attack Minka. The other one fighting with Val is kind of almost out of your vision. What do you want to do?
Did I see the direction in which the centaur was running?
You saw him run behind this, but then after that, you
Kinda
probably lost him.
I'm trying to figure out where he went. If I go this way, do I get a higher vantage that I would be able to see kind of better?
You do. Now, keep in mind, you're running across hilltops. So this is like a Legolas
Difficult
acrobatics check.
terrain? Oh.
This is because this is like acrobatics. If you were climbing across it, that's difficult terrain. Oh no, you could use difficult terrain movement if you wish. That would get you not terribly far.
It would get me to like
The next,
here.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
And then bonus action dash, more difficult terrain.
yeah,
do the same
yeah. You could do that.
All right.
Ooh, where's the
So
laser?
I get to here. I've got it over here.
Where's the other laser?
I don't.
Upstairs because I have to change the batteries.
So
I
I'm
played
gonna
with it too
be
much.
Here-ish.
Mario
I'm there.
likes it.
I'm there.
Okay, so you on this thing, instead of like running along lithely,
I'm gonna
you
run-
just kind of inchworm your way along.
I'm gonna shout back to Cheshire, change of plans, help me go. And then
You scooch along the
here,
rocks.
do I see the troll here?
do.
Do I see the centaur?
I would say from that vantage point still, he's behind that little rock. I would say maybe you see like just the top of his head, just barely, but that's like the fullest of cover.
I'm gonna take the shot.
Okay.
Let's go. 30.
That is a hit. Even with full cover, you barely see any element of this individual, and it's really you guessing where he's going to pop up next and guessing correct.
And I'm gonna use another charge.
Okay.
So that's now 2d8 extra damage.
Correct.
To him. Those are good numbers. 31. 6 of which is fire.
Okay.
Or actually, sorry, 12 of which is fire.
Okay.
Because it's the 2 now.
So as he is like galloping through, you are tracing him, and you lose sight of him. So you scooch along very slowly at the top of this wall, but scooching as fast as you can. You catch your pants a little bit, but you still make your way over. And then right when you get to the edge, you resume your aim, and literally right as you get like locked in, this centaur gallops away from this corner, and you fire. It hits them right in the leg, and you watch as they tumble down. They almost go down, but they are still up, and they limp along just barely. But you hear this roar as they are badly hurt. Anything else, Ori?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, very close. That is Ori's turn. That brings us to Cheshire.
Gotta run off and do the thing.
And then you watch as Ori just scooches away from you.
Okay, Ori.
I love our new friendship.
I'm gonna drop enemies abound and change it for hold person on our downed friend. That's a wisdom saving throw.
I feel like Ori and Chester are like the definition of frenemies at this point.
That is going to be an 11.
That is a failure.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
He is paralyzed and incapacitated.
Okay. Now this is hold person, correct?
That is correct.
Give me 1 second.
Oh,
Do they
because
know?
it might be.
It's a humanoid.
It is a humanoid, but I just want to
Are they
see.
considered humanoids or are they considered
Monstrosity.
monstrosities
Or
That's the key here.
the whatever.
or fiends? Maybe.
This is not a humanoid. It is a giant.
Oh.
I feel like I'm splitting hairs, but okay.
It's mechanical keywords.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. That is Cheshire's turn. That brings us
he's
to
still
Valis.
And blind.
And blind. He's
so-
not doing great.
Blind. Yeah.
Did I see an arrow go overhead and hear a centaur go, ah?
Yes, everybody hears this
Probably
roar.
scooting up above, rocks kind of falling down.
Did I hear like a body collapse in the distance?
No.
Or- no? Alright, I'm going to face step.
All right.
Probably like over here.
Okay.
So like over here, that's about 30 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm pretty sure that puts me about
You're within 10 feet of him, yeah.
within 10 feet. And then I will sunbeam him.
Very nice. So you take the sunbeam, you like point it down as you're running, and so it just digs this burn along the ground. And then as you get around the corner, you can see he is just getting back up, the legs unfolding underneath to begin to run away. And as you do, you pull the sunbeam up. What kind of save?
Constitution, DC 14.
Okay, that is going to be a 17, so that is a success. But go ahead and roll damage for that.
12 damage.
12 damage. That is
25 round half, so 12.
far more than you needed. I mean, well, they had 7 health left. So you pull the sunbeam around, and as they roar and barely limp up, and as they get up, you can see the crossbow bolt goes through like the body. It is in their chest cavity partially and still protruding, and they are going. And every time they step, there is a pulse of blood that is coming out. They're barely held on, and then you point the fucking sun. And as they're going, they begin to gallop away, and it's straight to the face. And there's no more yells, no more screams, no more nightmares, only dreams. So they're dead.
All right, I'm gonna yell, I got the centaur!
So that is Valis' turn. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, that would bring us to the Centaur's turn, but that is all they could do. Minka, what would you like to do?
Dog.
So there is just a troll that has bit me.
Yeah,
It's on the ground.
it is laying down. It's blind. You can see the eyes are like
Oh, it
blackened and
is.
smoking.
No longer.
Oh, right, end of your turn, right. So the eyes uncrust.
I'm just gonna hit it with a moonsicle.
Okay.
So let's see, because I'm definitely well trained. And 100. Okay, well, no, that's. Oh,
this
it's
a melee
advantage.
attack?
Yeah, it's advantage. He's prone. Ooh, okay, that's not.
And if you hit, I believe it's automatically a critical
Yeah.
hit.
Okay, let me see. So I definitely attack with this thing all the time, so I 100% know my pluses for
You've attacked
melee
with it
regular
3
attacks.
times.
What is this?
Four
Is this
now.
just your weapon?
Which
It's
is
the
a-
moonsicle.
The moonsicle,
First
yeah.
magical weapon of the game.
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't. Oh my god, where? There. Okay, it is a +4. So that is a dirty 20 to hit it.
Nice.
That is a critical hit.
Nice.
Nice. Automatic critical. D4.
Moonsicle.
Oh, excellent. That is a total of 8 damage.
Nice.
So 7 damage.
Slash down, and as they are biting into you, you just slash into their face, and they have to let go. It's like you sever elements of the musculature in their jaw, and the jaw just unhinges, and you pull your leg out. Anything else, Minka?
I still have my bonus attack. Can I think I can see this guy.
Ooh, they're matching in damage. Look at that.
Oh, we did it!
Yeah, you caught up?
Look, guys.
I think I can see.
Equal damage for all.
You have no idea. This is like an ongoing theme at this table.
We're very good at
The Starfinder game is amazing at it. It's like and they have big numbers too, so there'll be like 12 cultists with like 6 life left each out of like 60.
All right.
So basically, who can down their guy fast
So-
first?
Does a prone creature count as threatening?
Yeah.
I'm coming.
So she's still gonna like step back,
Okay.
just out of its range as she can.
This way?
Yeah.
Boop.
So go back this way. And I'm assuming they still get attacked for opportunity.
They would, but they don't see you, and so like there's really no way for them to actively get it. And I think, oh no, they're not blinded
not
anymore.
blinded
Yeah, they do
They
get
are
attack of
prone.
opportunity.
They're
It is a
prone.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
And so they swing out. This is how they're best, though. That is going to be a 16 to hit.
No.
Okay.
Nice.
So they swing out, and you leap over the starlight, almost giving you a little extra distance from that jump.
All right. And then bonus attack. I'm gonna shoot that guy.
Okay.
So, and that is 23.
23 hits.
Rolled high, even though it's a disadvantage. Oh, max damage.
Nice.
So that is 13 points of radiant damage.
13 points of radiant damage. All right. This guy's looking rough now. And as that arrow sinks in, though he is regenerating, not anywhere near the pace at which you guys are putting damage on him. Anything else, Minka?
No, is it?
That does bring us to the trolls, and so you do watch as a lot of the damage that you just dealt with that last blow just kind of re-heals. But give me 1 second. And especially the one on the ground seems to be doing a little bit better. But that is going to bring us to them. So the one on the ground is going to stand up, and they're not blind. They just got stabbed by Minka and shot by Minka. Oh, no, they didn't.
Just
but they're
stabbed.
still going to cross over here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Lovely.
Does that happen even after getting up?
No, excellent point. So he's actually just going to run over and use his full turn to do that. But from where he is, you face stepped away.
Yeah, I
And
faced
so-
up behind him.
I'm up here.
That's just high enough, though, because you did move up where you're not at his eye level and he's not smart. So he is going to turn.
Yeah. Hey, there we go.
And with Cheshire's previous check, doesn't see that, and kind of the closest person is Valis. 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to also have to run.
All right, we achieved our goal of moving the trolls away from the tree.
Get away. And all of a sudden, he just goes, huh? Get back there! And runs back. But they take both of their turns just crossing distance to catch up with you guys.
Doing cardio.
That is their turns. Rule number 1, cardio. Ori, what would you like to do? Cheshire, you're on deck.
Can I see this one from where I am?
They are going to
Over the
benefit.
tree?
So, again, you're shooting through the tree to do it. You absolutely can. They have cover, and if you miss, you're hitting the tree.
I'm gonna steady aim and shoot through
There
the
you
tree
go.
at him.
Maybe we'll wake up the tree.
Matt has great history with treants.
Listen, we've already made one spicy shot by the tree, so what's another spicy shot by the tree, right? Is that a good or a bad omen?
It's not great, but it's like not terrible. It's a 17.
17 hits. If they were hasted, it would not have.
All right. I real poor rolls.
Yeah, I know that.
And those guys aren't getting a charge.
Okay.
But no, I'm not gonna do that either, because that's a strength save, and I probably still boys. Ooh, but that's good numbies. 25 points of magical piercing damage on this guy.
Okay. And so Minka, as they are healing, they turn and they climb to their feet and they stomp over, and you can see the place where you had just like stabbed them. They take that like little chunk of flesh and just rip it out and throw it on the ground, and where the bone is, you can see already scabbing over. But they look down at you and they just go, "You can't escape." And then boom, they get hit with this right from behind, and they look worse than before. You see the arrow just protrude from the chest. Though they don't use a charge, there is this little crackle and burn. But anything else, Ori?
That is it.
Alrighty, that is Ori's turn. Cheshire, what would you like to do?
Avoiding Minka.
Okay.
Fairy fire.
Okay. So like right in front, Minka, directly in front of you, a curtain of these pink like sparkles descend. And you can see it's almost like somebody is shutting these translucent curtains against this troll. But he begins to glow from within. He gets a save against that?
Dexterity saving throw.
It's real dexterous. How does a 3 do?
That is a failure.
Alrighty.
Any attack roll against an affected creature or object has advantage if the attacker can see it.
Nice.
So he just turns, and as he's about to hit you, is shot with this thing and looks down and just goes, "What happened to me?" And it's now just glowing from this arrow in his mind.
And for you, Minka.
Nice.
And from the little like bits of pink, there's a little tiny like glittery flower that just falls from it into your hands. Inspiration. Anything else, Cheshire? Alrighty, Valis, what would you like to do?
All right. Let's sunbeam this guy. So I'm gonna take a step this way and just sunbeam him. And he's taller than me, so like everyone else that looks up just sees shing for a second. DC 14 Constitution saving throw.
Alrighty. That is going to be a success. That is a 23.
Let's see. So he needs to take some half damage.
Man, I only got to use 3 sorcery points.
10 damage. 10 radiant damage on the troll.
Okay.
And then I will. Let's see. take the dodge action.
Okay.
Classic.
So you cut the centaur down, and almost at once you can feel the vibration behind you. So you sink down to one knee and bring this radiant gem up. And as you do, for everybody else, it's like this light beam in the air that just through. And he is smoking and charred. Yeah. But anything else, Valis?
Dodge action. I'm gonna just move a little bit around him, but still be in base contact, and that's it.
You like move, he swings, hits the ground, he misses, he looks woozy, he is in bad shape. But that is your turn, Valis. That does bring us to Minka. Minka, what would you like to do?
All right. So this guy is still in front of me, glowing. We definitely get the sense that if I touch him, it's gonna be a bad time.
You don't know. But yeah, that seems pretty fair.
He has pulsating sores.
Yeah.
You want to touch that?
I don't.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
But at the same time, this close, touching him is kind of my best option. So, I think it's just gonna go like.
No, that's fine. Worth noting, you should be taking poison damage from the radiant ones within 5 feet of him, but for we'll do that. Well, it would have only been twice.
All right, she's gonna reach out and shocking grasp it
Okay.
with her hand.
Is that a dex save?
It's an attack roll.
Okay.
Have advantage.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
I
Advantage?
do have advantage with real bad
inspiration.
zombies. Really
And
horrific
inspiration.
zombies. All right, that
That's
could
good
save it.
inspiration, though.
At dirty 20.
That hits, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, I rolled real bad, and then that inspiration saved it for sure.
Nice.
All right, so that is 2d8 worth of shocking damage.
Okay.
Not great numbers, but 7 lightning damage.
And you're within 5 feet, correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you do take 14 points of poison damage as you shock this individual, and the sores just pop, and poison just spills across you. But as that ceases, you look, and he is rough. As the lightning kind of crackles across his body, the sores pop and fester, and he's looking in bad shape.
All right, cool. I'm then going to back up
Okay.
and just send me backwards.
You can see he goes to like swipe out at you, but then Charlie horses with the shocking grasp.
Yep.
You can't make that reaction.
And then just gonna use my bonus attack arrow to hit him with that.
Okay, make your attack roll.
Is he still glowing from the fairy fire? Oh,
Yeah, at advantage.
nice.
And so as he like goes and he tries to swing at you, you hear him in Sylvan just go, "My cough!" And just like he goes to grab it as it just seizes up.
I'm the only one that doesn't understand Sylvan, so he's just mad. Question. I'm not poisoned anymore, right? I'm just
You are no,
Just-
no, correct.
just got poisoned.
You just got poisoned down.
Right, okay. Just want to double check. Okay, so that will most likely hit, because that is a 22.
Mm-hmm.
And then that is 12 radiant damage.
12 points of radiant damage. Hang on 1 second. Minka, this individual swings for you, tries to grab you, yells out that his calf is hurting him and can't quite swing. And so you pull back, and almost in a panic, you just like close your eyes and let loose. And this arrow, you hear, "My calf!" right through the chin, right through the head, and he dies. So that is just enough damage to push him over. And you can see as that like flickers and just kind of like sputters out of existence, the celestial arrow, you see like the hole trying to close up, but like blood is coming out, and you can see like bits of bone shards, and he just can't recover from that.
I will have nightmares from touching that. Okay.
Anything else, Minka?
Nope.
Alrighty, that brings us to the last remaining troll. So he turns around, seeing this little elf who has been the cause of so much damage. First of all, Valis, you watch as little elements of the damage on him do recover, but he is going to first see if his thumb regenerates. It does not. Come on. And so he's going to take 3 attacks. He's going to take 3 attacks against you. He's just, "Why would you?" But then gets frustrated and reaches out, tries to swing and misses you. I am assuming with a 9.
That does miss.
Almost falls down, but not quite. The next one is going to be a 24.
Is that disadvantage?
No. So hang on one sec, because that 9 could be even lower. It is not. The other one is going to be instead a 12.
Miss.
And the final strike is a bite, and this one is going to be much better. That is going to be a 24 to hit.
And that was with disadvantage?
Yes.
Aw,
Natural
man.
20 was the other one.
That will hit me. Ooh, like,
Yeah.
glad I did not get that.
And, so as he reaches out and chomps into your shin, you are taking only 7 points of piercing damage, as well as, where's my D8? Only 1 point of poison damage, and you are poisoned until the start of their next turn. As they clear their fangs out of your legs, you feel their venom sink into you. But that is the troll's turn, brings us to the top of the round. Ori, you watch as this other troll is just speared through the head by Minka's arrow, falls to the ground, and so there is only one troll left.
I'm gonna steady aim and shoot at the one that's living.
Make your attack roll.
22
Okay. 22 hits.
and 17 points of magical piercing.
He had 17 hit points left. Tell us how it happens, Ori.
I'm like sitting there ready to shoot at the one that Minka just killed. So I'm like, oh, let's see how Valis is doing. Look over. Valis is like pretty much finishing this one off. I'm like, boop.
So Valis, you're about to pull the sunbeam around again. You're going to cut him in half with this. He's like about to die, and then right through the back, and then he just falls dead in front of you.
So I'm gonna
You
start
dodge him
kinda
as he does with your
I
dodge.
look over and I
down.
see Ori. Thumbs up.
and I'm just kind of like, whoop, and then slide down to get to the ground and go.
And you are
start
all out of initiative.
checking on this tree.
I'd like to loot the centaur.
Okay, give me 1 second here. All right. Okay.
Just run ahead, Ori.
So finally, Cheshire like makes it into the battlefield, and Cheshire, you look around. There's trolls here.
I mean, yeah, I knew that. They're dead
Because
now.
it is 8:45, we're going to step away for a quick break, and we will be back in just about 10 minutes. Thank you for sticking with us. We'll see you in just a little bit.
Bye.
Phenomenal.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back to Adventures in Albaron Courts of Everest. Howdy, Matt. Welcome back to Adventures in Albaron. We're playing D&D, and if you are just joining us, this group just defeated a pair of venom trolls along with a centaur sorcerer of some kind, apparently. So all of you now find yourselves with the battle dying down within this grove. You can see there is a bit of poison that soaks into the land here, but especially to your point, Minka, with the stone covering elements of this pond, it doesn't seem to be like soaked in. There is no immediately obvious damage anyways. But Valis, you kind of turn and you begin to go through this individual stuff. Make an investigation check.
Woo! Let's see. Investigation is a skill. Dirty 20. I don't have it, but I rolled well. Dirty 20.
Okay. So you can see the only real thing that they have on them, they don't carry any kind of like money or anything like that. You don't find any kind of wallet. The only thing that they have in terms of clothing, and you had seen this from a distance, is this belt. And this belt has a number of different things that dangle off of it. And there are various kind of carved and crafted totems. You see one that looks like a sort of more feminine centaur. Somebody didn't close the door. Is it Matthew who showed us late? Can you get the mans up there? That's fair. I do too.
Hello, man.
I know mans. This is Oreo the mans that you're hearing.
Oh,
He's running away.
Yeah, of course he is.
he's coming after you.
He likes to hang out under the table. I know mans.
Sorry, bud.
There we go. Bye, Oreo.
Most defeated.
This is so like we joke about this, but his litter box is down here under the stairs, and so a lot of times when we see him like poking his head out from there, he's just like, "What the fuck are they doing in my bathroom?" But you see a number of different totems that have been carved. One of which does look like a more feminine centaur. And immediately upon holding this, Valis, there is something in the back of your mind that kind of itches and kicks, but you can't quite grasp at it. It's like something should be there, but it isn't. A memory that should immediately come to mind, but doesn't. It's strange. But looking through the rest of these totems, you see other kind of strange ones. You see a really odd-looking toad-like creature with fangs. You see a number of more mundane-looking woodland creatures. You see things that are... Make a nature check.
Nature check. 15.
Hard to tell any real theme here. A bunch of animals. Some look terrible, terrifying. Others look kind of just like you see an alligator, and that's kind of frightening, but not especially. But as you look at all these things, and they're carved in elements of different kinds of wood, you keep coming back to this centaur. And unlike all the other ones, this one is really well... They're all carved probably by the same hand, but this one has been... Make an insight check. Make all the checks. We'll just do all the different skills. We'll just do them in a row.
4.
4.
In alphabetical order.
This is the even though you feel an attachment to it, this is kind of the worst carved one. Unlike the other ones, there isn't really sharp facial features. It's kind of like a smooth lump that just barely has elements carved into it. But yeah, it's just a belt.
Okay, I'll take the belt.
Okay.
Remove the belt, and so I can bring it back to the group to have them take a look at it later.
No worries.
And then I'll head back to the group.
Okay.
While that's happening, I'm coming down here and I'm gonna check out the tree.
Okay.
And I mean, I'm gonna see if just like shaking it is gonna work, but I'm trying to think like if we need to shake it more.
Okay. So you begin to like slide down the rocks.
Similarly, I'm going to head towards a tree to see if it was poisoned or not.
Okay. Make a nature check. You do get there a little bit faster than Oreo has to kind of like skid his way down the stones.
All right.
That was an interesting, like, perfect landing.
Yeah. 23.
You go up to this tree, and interestingly, all around this place, you do see a few low bushes that have grown around, but really interestingly, only within this tight ring immediately around this pond. And as you begin to kind of look around a little bit, you can see The water is clear, and where little drops of poison have kind of fallen, they don't mix into the water. They sit like oil on the surface and haven't mixed at all. And that's not natural. And as you look at this tree, though it just kind of sits there and there are knotted elements of the roots that sink into the water, and kind of like Ori had mentioned, probably into the earth around here as well, you get the sense that this tree is keeping the immediate surroundings somewhat clear of this poison in this moment right now. Still very good to keep poison out of the pond, but for the moment it seems to be poison free.
Then I come over.
And then as Ori shakes the tree.
Jacaranda.
And then
Jacaranda.
a bee's nest falls out of it, and then we both have fun.
Make a persuasion check, Ori, at disadvantage.
You're shaking the tree with disadvantage?
Yeah,
Or having a
not proficient.
Not shaking
Not
trees.
proficient in tree shaking.
Yeah,
Oh, and just to make sure all the
tree.
totems that I found, they're on the belt, so I just have them all on the belt.
Correct,
Is that right?
correct.
Okay.
We're here to help wake you up on behalf of Pinecrest. Eight.
so Minka, you go over, you are very, very mindful of the fact that
In
you're in this
Sylvan. In
place.
Sylvan.
Okay. You're very mindful of the fact that you are in this place that is very, there's a gravity to this place. And so you're very attentive to it. You try not to step on the grass too much. You regard the water and it's clean, and you look at the tree and you're like, wow, this tree is ancient. It has been here undisturbed. Before he shakes it. And as he does, you watch as part of the bark just breaks off in his hand, elements of lichen on it. And you shook the tree. And though it does look relatively tense, the bark is brittle and it comes away a little bit unexpectedly.
I pick up the piece and try to put it back in the spot.
You just kind of, and it just falls and it falls and
Sorry.
kind of crumbles a little bit more. But doesn't wake up.
So,
I don't. Do I shake it more? I've never woken up a tree yet.
I'm on my way back. Let me know when I get there.
You're back.
Oh,
Pinecrest did
Cheshire, are you doing anything while
vigorous.
this is all happening?
That was pretty vigorous.
wondering if
I
Ori
mean,
had a stroke.
I'm a bit.
Okay. It's hard to tell.
I can't do it much
Make a
more
medicine
vigorously than that.
I mean, it's not like a serious wonder, because I'm still mad at him. But, well, that checks out.
And I tried to
11.
more
It's
vigorously
possible.
shake the tree.
You look over at Ori and you're like, what is he doing? Maybe there's some logic to his madness. And then you see he shakes the tree, part of the bark comes off, and he just goes, picks it up from the ground, falls back down, picks it up, and you're like,
can I grab that piece of bark and then try to put it back in the tree, but then lay on hands, feel it?
So Valis. Valis goes over, takes the
Shake
bark
it
away from
vigorously.
you, and just kind of looking at you, places it on, and as you hold your hands against the bark, you use lay on hands. Are you using, how much of your pool are you using?
I don't know. It's a piece of bark on a tree, so I guess I'll just say 5.
Okay. With 5 hit points, which is enough also to cure a disease of some kind or other status affliction, the element of bark just seals into the tree. And almost at once, the leaves shake a little bit, and the 2 branches that were almost clinging onto the roots just away. And the tree stands up really only about 10 feet tall. This thing is really tiny and wizened, and you can see it twists around itself more than it actually grows vertical at this point. Part of it untwists and unwinds so it can stand up all the way. And before you, there is this tree ant with these star-shaped purple leaves that create this huge crown across it. These 2 knots open up on the side of the trunk, and you can see really ancient-looking eyes. Even in a tree ant, these things have wicked crow's feet that run around the bark. But this individual just yawns and has this deep inhale, and as they do, the wind into this area, past all of you, almost like when she breathes in, the entire forest does around her as well. And she says, oh, these roots and branches are stiff as a hedgehog's quills, and just as painful. Oh my. Oh, she looks around at all of you kind of here, and with especially Ori and Valis and Minka all kind of like gathered up, not quite observing the really grumpy Cheshire behind yet. But Cheshire, for what it's worth, even with your medical check, okay, he's not having a stroke. This seems to be something happening here. The tree begins to talk. And it says, "You've protected that which is most important to me. My family, which is my home. Root Creep owes you a great debt. What year is it?"
14 something.
1421 in the third age.
Oh dear, I've missed Hearsome's party.
We're
There'll
actually here
always be
on
another party of Hearsomes.
behalf of Hearsome.
That's right. I like you. What's your name?
I am Valis Birchbillow.
Valis
Greetings,
Birch.
Jacaranda Indigrow.
You know my name.
Well,
Yes.
we're actually here on behalf of Hearsome and Pinecrest to help wake you
Lovely. How is that young sapling doing these days?
up. To be honest, not particularly well. The
Oh,
hags.
and she bends down and like sits right next to you and like pulls her knees up and kind of holds the knees against her, and she says, "Well, Pinecrest was such a healthy young sapling."
Well, he is well, but we're here actually because the hags in the Candlestick Forest have been causing problems.
As soon as you say that, she like the branches shake and she stands up and she goes and spits on the ground. You see this clod of brown red leaves that just like clump into the dirt. And she says, "I spit on any coven and gladly throw my lot along with anyone who would fight them."
Well,
Oh.
As
that
it
is
so
a
happens-
Good coincidence.
that is what we are heading towards soon, especially now that we've woken you up. Pinecrest is in that direction.
About
Not
30
point off.
minutes away. Yeah, he sent us here to ward off these venom trolls.
The venom trolls, I believe, were controlled by the hags.
So you see she looks back and forth at you and then you following this conversation, and every now and then the eyes kind of flick up, regards Cheshire, kind of looks back, continues to follow the conversation, looks over at Minka, who's just kind of just a little wave, goes back, and then the eyes flick up and look at Billy. And Billy and Alina kind of off and to the side, a little bit in the distance, out of the scene. But this individual leans forwards towards you, Ori. And Ori says, or Jacaranda says, You're not a magical's type.
No.
I feel you are blind to the weave, so you might know. I would gladly throw my lot in alongside Hearsome or the Lord of the Wild Things, but... And you can see one of these hands just kind of gives a little point towards Billy. Sir Nunos's magic runs through her, but her very blood is marked by the tongue stitcher. Why do you work with her?
The tongue stitcher?
Yes.
Do I know the tongue stitcher?
Make a history check at disadvantage.
Can I hear this?
Yeah.
At this point,
You speak Sylvan, yeah? All in Sylvan. Yeah,
damn.
all in Sylvan.
Yeah, so at this point,
19.
seeing she
Okay.
point towards Billy, Mega's leaning over to his house, be like, "What is she saying?"
I'll translate while this is happening.
So this individual, as you are kind of thinking this, she says tongue stitcher, and you don't know that name, but names like that you have heard ascribed to hags of different kinds. And you kind of look a little bit confused, and she says, "You don't know the tongue stitcher. Theodora, if you are doing anything to move against the Coven of Unrest, you do her bidding, whether you wish to or not."
Well,
Can she be trusted?
I shut the door. What are you doing down here, little man? That's a good question. Yes.
Make a persuasion check. You can see one hand pointing towards her, but other branches kind of moving, and they seem to begin to gesture. And you can see there are like roots around the area beginning to shift and move. 19. You can see the eyes shift and the hands stop moving, and she says, "Were you not in the presence of a child of autumn? And did you not bear Sir Nunos's badges? I would have already drawn her beneath the ground and broken her bones.
But
You cannot trust Theodora or her ilk. Don't get me wrong. We need you to remove these hags, but you should bear in mind that there is much more going on here."
right. I have gathered that, but it seems like there are still some pieces that I might be missing. So we were hoping that you may be able to help. Because I think we all want the hags gone.
She stands up, and at this, she kind of nods. Her eyes are still on Billy and still not terribly trusting, but it seems that for the time she's willing to put that aside. She says, "If you mean to fight them, Root Creep will offer what help it can. And I can bring you the rest of the way if they still reside within the Candlestick Forest or close enough to make no difference. How do you intend to do this?"
Well,
What armies have you brought with you?
You're looking at it.
You can see it turns around. Cheshire has showed up now, bright pink in the space.
yeah, it's just the six of us. Oh, and her familiar, because you can't see it most of the time. You might be able to. I don't know.
No,
Okay, well,
only
Six and a
six.
well, yeah.
She looks around and kind of says, "You will need more allies and more than I can call. I can bring some, but 6 will not stand against the Coven."
Oh, we have the master of persuasion here. He'll convince them to go start a new life.
How many hags are in that coven? Do
It's
you
the
know?
3.
Turns and looks over at you. "You can speak. Well, and are you speaking in Sylvan?"
I don't know Sylvan,
Oh,
so
okay. So you say in
Ivan.
common. So turns over to you, and you just hear "Fuintasti." All of you hear, "You can speak." And in Sylvan, she seems to be able to understand common, does not speak common, and so just goes right into Sylvan. And so if you were translate, you can
She can understand you, but she can only speak in Sylvan.
Okay.
you hear she says, "There are 3. There is Hesitite, the terror sweat connoisseur, they call her. Small ones, anyways. She's the leader of that group. Underneath her are Aura, the Hag of Nightmares, and Shari, the Slumber Hag. A terrible group, those 3, and they've become quite smart. At least they were a long time ago. I fear they may have grown even stronger."
Beyond the hag issue, as
The head turns back to you.
Kiss you.
forgive me, but how long have you been asleep?
Oh, just 2 centuries or so.
Was the Dark One imprisoned longer ago than
Yes.
that, right? Was Gracial Duneth imprisoned longer than that?
You have no idea who that is?
Well, I do know the name.
You've heard the name.
No.
Yeah.
You know the dragon's name.
You don't necessarily know that the dragon was imprisoned at any point.
Right.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You don't know anything other than the name.
Yeah, that's true.
And that he's leading an army currently.
Yeah, and then
And Rocco's
there's a red dragon leading an army named Glacial Dunath.
But we would know that dragons are a very recent thing that was not a thing previously.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot that's happened in the last 200 years.
There always is. I will catch up presently, but I must awaken the forest. Is there anything that you need in the next decade or so?
Well, anything that you could give us that may help against the hags would be appreciated. Pinecrest said you would be able to help, but I guess...
Are you doing that now?
No, probably
With your
not. If you
6
said-
people?
Yes.
No, I don't.
I must warn you, that is a bad idea. I can bring Okermane back now to help you, but one treant against the hags will not do much. I can gather woodland creatures, but I fear that would almost be cruel to them.
We need to get some allies then, I suppose.
Or you.
Well, we have us. We have.
No, let's just blindly rush in like we have every other thing that we've done so far.
It's worked so far.
Well, I mean, we do know people in the area. We just don't know if they'll be willing to help us against hags.
You don't understand. It's more dangerous than just fighting against hags. You're fighting against the forest itself. The mists of the Candlestick Forest are summoned by the hags. They work for them. They do their bidding. And so you won't find them until they're ready. And they're quite smart. 4 hags, of course.
They already
But-
know that we're coming.
They will do what they can to weaken your defenses against what makes them strong.
And that's...
We're gonna go check on a mine, but no,
Yes.
let's go burn down the forest first.
You're quite knowledgeable. They will try to put you to sleep. And if not, keep you awake until you die.
I don't like that at all. Okay. So... We should...
We
come up
should.
with a plan.
Maybe we should regroup a little bit. And,
Could we rest here for a bit? And
Of
maybe...
course you can. You helped us, and you will always have a place in Root Creep.
Thank you.
That's fine.
We need to make a plan if we're going to face these hags. But they already do know that we're coming.
Do you have any suggestions for finding them? You said that they do their best to avoid being found until they want to. Is there a way for us to
Not
find them?
do their best. They will avoid you. The mist is something that they can steer. You will get lost. Do not walk into the Candlestick Forest thinking that you won't. Plan for it and you will survive better. If you must sleep, you must find a way to do so protected. In the open, you will fall victim and you may not realize it for many days.
How can one protect themselves from succumbing to their sleep magic?
Well, kind of stands up. There are many creatures that are simply too stupid to be affected by these abilities. I don't think any of you fall into that category, regrettably, but I think it's something to keep in mind. There are some magical items that can protect you. I had a friend a long time ago in this area who had a staff that could shed the fog away from it, made from salt, I believe. Not good upon the ground, but handy for traveling there.
Did the staff have a name?
No.
Okay, and what was your friend's name?
Zaye. A spore. I haven't seen many of them around.
How long ago was that?
Oh. You can see the eyes narrow as she tries to think. The stars were still in the sky. 500 years ago, give or take. They may be sleeping too.
They were a spore?
They are a spore.
Do I know what a spore is?
Make a nature check at disadvantage.
Whoa, disadvantage.
Can we all do nature checks?
Yeah.
Disadvantage.
Yeah.
With disadvantage, that will be a 16.
15.
6. 7.
Oh, okay, well, no, I know everything. But seeing your confusion, they look around and they say, if you've never seen one before, they're like a big mushroom, but glowing eyes, and they have ancestral memories. This avatar might not be the Zaye I remember, but they will remember their memories. If you go to them and find them, they might be willing to help.
And you don't know where they are currently, right?
Within the Candlestick Forest was the last place that I saw them.
Okay.
Okay. That's something.
Are there...
So,
Go ahead.
oh, was it the salt? Was the salt staff magical, or was it just like salt?
Yes, it was magical.
Okay.
I believe they had said it had come from a place deep beneath the ground called the Ithian Imperium. I don't know what this is. They say that where this is, there is no sun. Not even an astral eclipse.
So
Just stone and rock and dirt.
deep underground.
Don't know if I'm gonna get there.
You, and perhaps some of the other, it's hard to tell, but elves do have an ability to resist.
Right.
They're
Python said that we would be particularly suited against them.
Perhaps.
So
I
Sounds.
look to the group and say, I think the plan was to go now, right? Are we changing that plan?
Well, the plan was certainly to go sooner rather than later, but I am not thrilled about the amount of disbelief that we've come across about this plan. I mean,
So again, in Sylvan, they begin to talk to you, and Valis is willing to translate. He can, but they look at you and they just say, "It isn't a matter of disbelief as much as it is a matter of history. Those who have tried before, well, it's been 200 years and the Coven exists still, so."
yeah, okay.
You said that you could raise one of your treants to help us.
Yes, if you mean to go now, I can bring Oakermane back, and they can bring lesser versions of us.
it will be dangerous for Okamane is if he were to go with us. Is that gonna be okay?
You can see he looks at you and says, "This is something you won't understand. When you die, you are gone. But we grow, and we die, and we grow again. It is but a pause for us."
Well,
I think. Cool.
oh no, I mean, at the very least, we do know at least one entrance to the Underdark, I believe. And we could try to get some allies before heading in immediately, or maybe see if we can get something to resist sleeping at least.
Who else would want to ally with us against this coven in the area?
Well, they're dangerous, and it's not far away from the mediocrity.
You can see he just shakes her head a little bit at
I
that.
know, but
The mediocrity can be trusted only about as far as that one. And you can see she gestures towards Billy again. They only grow to harvest.
right.
Well, we are being sent to this Candlestick Forest by Hearsome, as we are his justiciars for the realm. And
You can see that.
Because Alina wanted the thing and not because we actually had to.
You see this squint, and they say, "Hearsome sent you as justicars. This is about that treaty thing."
Yes. Well,
not this specific incursion, but we are his justicars.
the spire.
There seems to be some information that leads some of us to believe that there's a group of individuals seeking to return the Dark One to power.
And Hearsome would want to fix his mistake. That does make sense.
What was Hearsome's
What
mistake?
group? He turns and looks at you. Releasing the Dark One in the first place, of course.
We believe that the group is called the Fracturing, but we know very little of them.
We had discovered
At
one of
this
their
time.
members in the Emerald Spire.
Turns and looks and says, "If this is a small creature like you, please remember I've been asleep for a long time and you are very short. I probably do not know the specific person."
Oh.
No.
So the orb around the spire, the Onyx Spire, we have reason to believe there's a group trying to destroy it.
Right.
And they're calling themselves the Fracturing to fracture that barrier that holds.
The Dome of Alandor.
Yeah.
I believe that Hearsome will eventually send us to deal with that problem, but Hearsome doesn't think that we are strong enough, and he is sending us into the Candlestick Forest to retrieve an item that would help the Child of Autumn over there. Ridding the hags is just a nice side bonus.
The face sets, and you can see like the eyes get a little bit harder, and Jacaranda says, "This is all grave news indeed. You said a lot had been going on, but these are dark tidings."
And time is of the matter, and that is why we are planning to head into the Candlestick Forest soon.
What has Hearsome told you of the pact?
That's
Not
a
much.
resounding nothing.
What pact?
Precious little.
The pact holds. You can see he just sighs and
Oh, yes.
says,
He does tell me that the pact did still hold, but not much of the pact.
"It is even more important that you rid the Candlestick Forest of these hags. I I will bring you to the Candlestick Forest directly if you wish.
By the way, we have a way to speak to Hirsum if you want to say hello.
I have a way to speak to Hirsum as well, but I missed his last party. And you can see for the very first time, a little bit of anxiety creep into Jacaranda's face. And she says, he's really quite insistent about those things, and Summer's End is a big deal to the Fae. But maybe if he asks, you could say Pinecrest helped you. You won't be able to lie to him. I don't know what I was thinking. He kind of stretches a little bit and says, well, if you do mean to go, I will help you.
And that will mean something to Hirsum, and we appreciate that. Unless we think we should do otherwise.
At the very
I've
least,
been against it from the start, but here we go.
we can at
Well,
least.
what would you do, Pink One?
I have no better solution. That's why I'm here.
He kind of nods a little bit at this. I suppose that's true for all of us, to an extent.
Well, at the very least, we should rest at least for a little bit, and we can maybe try to come up with something and see where that leads us.
It's either we go now, just us, and with the assistance that Jacaranda can provide, or we take the time to find allies to our cause while the hags continue to grow in power and preparedness.
Oh, Jacaranda, just so that you know, Pinecrest sent here because he mentioned that the hags were after, what was it, the oak heart?
Heartwood?
The Heartwood.
The heartwood.
The hags are harvesting heartwood?
They're trying to.
They're trying to, and that's why Pinecrest sent here, so I thought I'd let you know.
They are
in case.
trying to create undead treants. That would be... They are trying to raise an army, these hags. This is even worse than I suspected.
Did they say something about using the Heartwood for like a portal or something, or am I just misremembering?
There are different uses for it, and so you may have discovered several of them, but yeah.
And one last thing, I think the centaur over here that was trying to keep you from waking, this was on his person. I show the belt. Does any of this...
You turn and you can see the roots are already like pulling him underground a little bit, but no problem. You pull up the belt.
And I just asked if any of this means anything to you or is a, possible danger to the area. Information is free.
That's actually a good move.
I mean, that is a motto of the library, so it's appropriate that Vala still has it.
Well,
Very good.
know that I do not endorse carving living wood. This is yew wood, but it isn't ordinary. It's from the Feywild. Have you been to the Merkendraw?
I don't think my
Does that
character
mean
has, but
anything to
right?
any of us?
Probably not.
okay. No.
In the darkest part of the Feywild, where no one treads, the place where hags come from, this is where these yew woods grow. Listen, all of you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
You travel with an individual who has Theodora running through her veins. And she again gestures towards Billy. Anything that you do, be mindful that you are pulled along by a string.
That explains a lot.
What do you mean?
Well, Billy's got this weird, green, sick, nasty looking thing.
You mean like her hair?
Sometimes
No.
those can be part of going into age for humans.
That's not a very nice thing to say about her.
It's a fact.
She doesn't bathe.
It's a fact. It's
Wait, like one of your
Us, really.
pink strings, or the ones you see
That is
sometimes.
nasty.
I don't like that. I mean, like
I think it moved out top Billy.
Yeah. I just
Has
stare
a few
at Billy.
questions, Billy.
Yeah, so like strings of fate is like a thing that that concept exists in this world.
I mean, I get like in that like threads of fate, strings of fate, like that's a pretty common saying that I'm
Yeah.
sure probably exists. Yeah. There isn't like a documented case of there being like
Right.
it isn't like Hercules where they're cutting the golden
Yeah,
thread.
yeah,
that doesn't exist.
Yeah, but like
As
that,
far
that,
as you know,
that
yeah.
concept
Yeah.
does. Okay.
well,
Told her
So
to get looked at. I don't think she has yet.
Theodora, the tongue stitcher,
Yes.
not a member of the same coven.
No. Much worse. Theodora. Ah, the aunties. You could see she shakes her head. There are few worse, and for a time they were contained. It bodes ill that they are active once again. Do you know, does she have her sisters with her?
I look at Billy.
Yeah.
Billy, so at this point, Billy and Alina have gone off, and before this even started, and this, perhaps in relation to Billy saying to Alina previously, I might need you to check something a little bit later. And so they're out of sight at this moment. And this Treant kind of waited for them to move off to do this. So this right now is kind of like an aside that's happening.
Ollie? I don't think we know.
I think
Wait.
at least one.
Does
I think it's gonna think to remember if Billy, when she talks about not liking her family, if it was in plural or not.
Make an intelligence check.
I do
was what?
believe
In
that
plural.
Ori and Billy had a conversation when we were back in the marshland when we had teleported back, and it was Billy's home where she had mentioned multiple aunties.
She had, not the number, but she had mentioned
Yes.
multiple.
Yeah, a 12.
Nope. Probably just one.
Yeah.
I say, I know there's at least one other.
The more of them there are, the stronger they grow. Hags don't get along. If they're working together, I don't know what power could cause such a thing.
At their strongest, how many hags were a member of the aunties?
There is never more than 3. Any more than that, and they bicker and fight until there's only 3 left.
What is the name of their coven?
Aunties?
They do not have a name as such. After a certain point, you no longer need such recognition.
that's not encouraging.
Ori is having lots of regretty spaghetti tonight.
But each does bring their own talents. While some hags may not be the strongest, their skills may prove difficult to overcome.
What does Theodora specialize in?
Tongue stitching, obviously.
Yeah, that. Well, it's
Come on, Ori.
silencing?
I would imagine there's more to it than that.
Same page.
Theodora is eloquent. beyond even mundane means. She is tricky, and I would guess that it is her who manipulates the others.
Does the tongue stitcher have anything to do with the pact that you spoke of?
If the pact holds, then that is all I can say.
So you're bound by the pact that Hearson is bound by as well.
We are all bound by the pact. The only difference is that we could choose to break it.
What is the name of the pact? Or is it just the pact?
There was a long time ago, and it's almost like an echo for a second where like you're like, oh shit, because this is exactly how Javara starts all of his intros. But
Flashback, start sweating.
were you talking to me?
Vowels just starts touching.
When Everest began to fall, when the stars still shined and the Dark One roamed, a pact was struck to seal him away. Hearson thought that he had the upper hand in this, but he did not. He is not called the Wise Fool for nothing. This pact has resulted in what you might know as the Dome of Valandar, and other things besides.
Okay. Well, we should sit down for a few minutes at least and see what we can think of and process all this new info. Cause,
We need to move quickly. I was going to awaken the entire forest, but we must move fast. I cannot afford a nap. I must start now. And you can see, like, begins to stand all the way up.
Okay, so I guess we are going now.
well, maybe we can an hour?
How long will it take you to wake
Okay, Mark.
Oakenfeld? No, that's not it.
I don't know.
It's a whole different
Okerman.
Okerman.
In the blink of an eye, only 8 hours.
Okay, so we have a little bit of time since
We have no time.
time for us is on a slightly different scale. So that's enough for us to think for sure.
In the 8 hours it would take you to awaken Oakermane.
Okerman Battle Route.
Is there anything else within these forests that we can get to help us against these hags?
Or help with.
There are many animals, and if you wish, I can call upon the
don't
Root
think
Creek
that's-
Menagerie, but
I agree with your earlier assessment. It does seem cruel to the animals to bring them into the danger that we intend to.
And we don't have time to look for this
Rush
salt
into.
staff.
they are
Thank you.
also very, very subject to sleep, and may be a larger impediment than an aid. Sleep works best against large groups of weak individuals.
How will Oakermane deal with the sleep danger?
You can see a little smile cross their face, and they say, I have yet to meet an individual that can put Okermane to sleep. But if he were badly hurt, it might be possible. Keep him safe, and he will do the same for you in turn.
It has been an absolute pleasure talking with you, Jacaranda Indigrow.
And with you,
I do wish we can speak again on less grave times.
Well, perhaps in 100 years or so when things have calmed down, but we have work to do. And you can see again stands up. Chop, chop.
We got work to do.
You can see begins to like whisper and the wind picks up and you can see off in the distance one of these trees in particular begin to shake a little bit. But they begin to kind of do their thing.
Should I fix your pond?
She turns and looks down at you and just says, "It is fine. I have kept this place safe. This is my grove, after all."
Okay.
And you get the sense that there is a magical component to that. This is very akin to something called Druid's Grove.
Pinecrest had mentioned that you may be able to expedite our rest so that we would be more well prepared for facing off against these hags, especially if we are to do so on such a short time frame.
Well, I can do no such thing. But if you are hurt, I can do something to help. I can help you travel quickly as long as I'm familiar with where you're going.
Oh, is that the tree smell?
You need more than 8 hours.
No, not more than 8 hours.
I think the best that we can do is probably rest. And
Yeah.
Do you
Maybe
mind if I start?
No.
Go,
You're
go
good.
here then.
But
Sorry.
again, for the third time, turns around and starts with their incantations.
Sorry, thank you. Okay, let's go take a walk, and we need to talk to everyone.
Right, we need to make a plan.
Especially Billy.
She might have more information than we thought.
Well,
But-
just recognizing where we are too. But how do we feel about just burning this forest down?
We can't
Okay.
do that.
It's,
Probably not.
well, if it's misty, it's gonna be hard to burn down because it's wet.
But it's not natural mist.
But still probably
We're not
wet.
burning down the forest.
Why are we not burning down the forest, right?
Because
I'm pretty sure that if it was so easy, someone probably would have tried that.
You never know. People
That
try
is
to
true.
make things complicated all the time.
Well, okay, let's go.
Are you saying this out loud?
Not like shouting it, but yes.
At this, you just hear, and they drop their arms, and they turn, and they just go, "You cannot burn a forest down.
that's what I said.
There are good creatures within.
It upset
Even
the
this
entire
one." And she
ecosystem.
gestures, and from the ground, the corpse of the centaur is thrust out from the roots, and you hear like the ribs crack a little bit. But she says, "This one had positive intentions, I'm sure. But if you go without sleep for long enough, you'll do anything to get rest."
Sorry to disturb you again.
Will you not burn the woods down?
No,
No, we're not going
We will not
towards
burn the woods
that's
down.
Not even a consideration.
All right, Ori.
You
charge ahead
need
and do my
minding
way.
more than I realized.
Okay, oh no, not again.
And goes, and you can see just gestures, and this bush just pops up from the ground. You see the two little roots become legs, and it just lands on the ground. And it turns and just says, "Bonsley, follow these people and make sure they don't burn anything." And you see this little kind of shrub just blink, and then it walks up to all of you.
Hello, Bonsley.
It just looks up at you. The leaves kind of, but it doesn't talk.
Okay, alright. Let's get walking and thinking.
Let's walk and make camp and talk about what we need to do. And what time is it?
Give me 1 second here.
And rest.
Should we just set up camp here?
It's about 1 p.m.
Well, I don't want to interrupt with Jackra's ritual. And considering how many times we've interrupted her already, we might want to at least move a little bit out of the way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I mean, look, somewhere within this protected area.
Yeah,
Not like
sure.
right.
You can just kind of make your way around. And actually, so Jacaranda is going to have like stood up and is kind of going over towards that tree stump over near, right over in that direction. So they're kind of like working around that tree. And the rest of you, if you want, can stay there or just kind of move off and towards like the bushes and the corpse of that troll and have a little bit more of a private conversation. Alina and Billy are off towards the archway.
Like over here.
Yeah.
Maybe we can grab Billy and Alina, head towards Pinegrass, and just kind of let them know that we've dealt with the situation.
Well, I don't know if we need to go all the way back, but that'll just take up more time.
Right.
We should stay somewhere close by because that way Jacaranda can get us there.
We have 8 hours, and I think it was only 30 minutes away.
I guess
We
that's
would-
true.
Need a full 8 hours to rest, though.
Well, I mean, are we planning to go?
Son
It's
of
currently
a
1 p.m. Do we want to go there at dark? Because I don't know. That would it be better if we waited until the morning to go?
Instinctively, I'd say that the morning is probably safer, but I also am inclined to think that maybe it doesn't matter when we're going up against a coven of hags who can control sleep and nightmares and the such. But I suppose being able to see a little bit better would help. But again, with the coven and with mist, it seems like a bit of a moot point.
I don't think there's going to be a good time. We might just have to go
Right,
when
that's-
we're ready.
My reasoning as well. But I suppose you're right. The first things first, we should probably find Alina and Billy. I'll go try to find them, set up camp. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay. So Ori heads off in that direction. Ori moves over there. In the meantime, as Ori goes to get Alina and Billy, Cheshire, Valis, and Minka, anything else that you want to do?
Yeah, we're away from Jacaranda at the moment, right? I'll just take out my stone and give a status report to our dear patron.
Okay. So again, you pull this thing up. You see the little runes flash again. They flash, but the call doesn't seem to go through. And so you'd imagine added on to that blinking light from before, there's another blinking rune just sitting on that stone.
Man.
I'm gonna pick a spot.
What's
Maybe
the
like 10,
point
15
of
away.
Okay.
Sit down and pout.
Okay. No problem. You find a good pouting rock and comfortable, good like scenic overview so that everybody can see you pouting. It's like a little elevated above everybody else. So it's like when a cat gets into a room and like ignores you very pointedly. It's what Cheshire is doing right now.
Sitting up here, like. everyone's
Anything that you're doing, Minka?
grumped.
I think at this point, Minka would just be trying to come up with anything to deal with mist, because it's water in the air.
Yep.
So we can temporarily deal with that. But if it's magical, this is just basically like the
Make
like
an
a spiral.
Arcana check.
I think that's just 17.
17. So, with a 17, I would say, especially being as you are where you are from, the name of that spore, Zaye, interesting that would be their name. They misquoted, whether they know this or not, they misquoted the name of the Imperium. It is the Zayeathin Imperium. And so either this individual named themselves after this Imperium or somebody in this story is confused. Either way, that's a little strange. This place, known as the Zayeathin Imperium, is a drow kingdom that exists in the Underdark, and you may have come into contact with individuals who have some of their wares. And this is the thing that really strikes you. They use salt to create these staves that are called iridiums, and these salt staves, absorb moisture. And there are passages within the Underdark that contain these condensed, almost toxic fumes, these cave gases. And these staves are used to almost suck them in and create these areas or pockets of clear air where people can work. And so that's this individual that that staff is almost certainly one of those. And so things of that nature could possibly work. You know that there are certain materials that absorb moisture, but on that scale, I mean, you would need a lot of it. Things like cotton, things like cloth. And with that check, yeah, that's kind of...
There is also another thing I'd like to do once we kind of start to settle down.
Okay.
I'd like to assume my thinker's pose
Okay.
and use legend lore.
Okay.
Nice.
And I'm gonna use it on Zaye the Spore. And
Okay.
my questions are gonna be how to find, where are they and how do I find them?
So you ask Javaris this.
Hey, Javaris.
And in your head, you hear, oh, spores. That's an interesting topic there. Spores, they really originate during the First Age. Have I told you about that? The Age of Dragons it was. When they emerged from the Pillar of Scales, there were other life forms that attempted to go into Alberon and take hold, but the dragons were supreme. There are thoughts about what those pillars might have been, and the Pillar of the Spore is one of them. If that's the case, then these creatures are almost as old as dragons. They're said to have memories through generations, and as one dies, others come into place. There are creatures known as corals. Valis, have you heard of coral?
Yes.
Coral is like plants, but they live underwater in massive colonies, and spores are very much like that.
I would like to make a persuasion
Make a
check.
persuasion check.
I sense the tangents.
16.
And the thing about colonies is really they go back to protomolecular science and molecules. Have you seen a molecule before, Valis? He goes off and begins to talk about like fundamental physics. And like really goes off.
Bulging as I
And
think.
so you get the sense that you're going to spend some time listening to this. But ultimately, over the course of a couple hours, you would learn that spores.
Am I a chemist now, or am I a microbiologist?
Physicist.
A spore
Thank you.
is a creature that used to exist during the First Age. They've kind of ebbed and flowed, and at a time, they actually did have a kingdom on Everest. They had kind of had a brief resurgence about 20 years ago.
I wasn't asking about spores.
Yeah.
About Zaye the Spore.
So Zaye, and this is kind of where this comes into play. Zaye the spore would have been one of those original spores that existed within that kind of resurgence of spore-like creatures. About 7 years ago, a massive red dragon swept across the southern Everest and charred the spored coast to the ground. This dragon was said to destroy anything that seemed to be related to mushrooms or rot. Just almost completely annihilating this place. And so it was thought that there weren't really any survivors. If this individual still exists up north, then that would be fantastic. But that's not terribly likely.
Well, what about the one in the Candlestick Forest?
So if it's highly unlikely, so this treant was asleep when all of this happened. They have no knowledge of this. They know that dragons are back because Ori kind of said that, but they don't know that a dragon, specifically a massive red dragon, came and just incinerated Central Everest. And so, like, yeah, spores are doing fine in their mind. If this kind of spore genocide occurred,
Not so fine.
this one may or may not be doing great.
Spoiler alert.
And legend lore especially, I would say, I mean, this is an individual that is close to 7,000 years old. But it's hard because it's also not the same individual. This ancestral memory is very strange. And so, let me look at legend lore and specifically what you'd learn here.
You know,
There are a couple numbskulls who freed this big, terrible dragon They've murdered the guy that you're asking about.
Oh, was this a dragon that was once in an axe?
Mm-hmm.
And so very technically, because this isn't like a legend, you wouldn't really gain any more useful information about it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of what you learn.
Okay.
And by the end of that, he says, "But suffice to say, they're fascinating creatures."
Thank you, Javaris. I look forward to speaking with you again. What time is it?
Everybody's gone. The trees are like 30 feet taller. A spaceship right by.
Yeah.
But you go over Ori and make your way towards the archway, and you can see kind of nestled into the stone Billy and Alina. And as you approach them, they look over, and it's hard to tell. I would say you probably need to make an insight check to really read guilt or anything, but there is a slightly suspicious look to them.
Okay.
But because it is 10 o'clock, and because neither Billy nor Alina is here, this is a great place for us to end for this week. So thank you for sticking with us for this session of Adventures in All Brawn Courts of Everest. We will be back next week, hopefully with Billy and Alina, so we can make a little sense of these things that we have learned. But please stay safe.
Got
It is
some
crazy out
explaining
there.
to do, Billy.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.